Oh, woohoo! Oh, that pineapple went down the wrong way.
Hurdle would be proud. Welcome, scum, vagabonds, ne'er-do-wells, and indeed, undecideds.
Welcome to the post-Infinity War world.
Yes. You know, really, only one of us should have been here, but more on that later. Minor spoiler. Welcome to Big Damn Cast. I am everything you ever dreamed of, but, like, now you're a little bit older, and those dreams aren't really your top priority, but you're still kind of burdened with it, and someone brought it you for your birthday, so you're sort of like, oh, and you've got to be happy you've got it. So, yeah, I'm that.
And I was the Soul Stone all along.
Oh, you were inside us the whole time, which is why your court date is scheduled for next month. Speaking of, some good news first.
Good news?
Cosby's going down.
Hey!
Yay, isn't that a happy,
with consent
positive
this
story?
time. Oh, no! Stop, bad person! Bad joke.
Yeah, Bill Cosby's been officially convicted on 3 charges of sexual assault. The reason it really went through, apparently, was because the cases that are now technically out of the dated period where you can actually prosecute based on certain things were that insurmountable, and the evidence for those, it's called something like the history of past indecency.
Yeah.
Can be brought into play as evidence if it has a relation to the current crime.
Yeah.
So even if you can't be charged for those crimes can be used as evidence for the current one. So, yeah, he's looking at a reduced sentence due to certain things like age and whatnot, blah, 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 of possibly 10 years per crime. So that's 30 years in prison. Dude is 82.
Yeah.
He is not getting out of there.
No.
But at least he isn't going to sexually assault and or rape people anymore. So, that's Jello pudding.
Oh no.
Now, onto a funny story.
No.
Onto a humorous story. Kanye West this week said to
TMZ...
No! Said
No!
to TMZ that slaves chose to be slaves.
No, let's not talk about Kanye West.
But then a really good guy on the team called Van, a really cool journalist, like stood up to him basically and was in the middle of the interview, got up and was like, I'm sorry, I've got to disagree with you on that. Like, your platform, you saying things like that is incredibly reckless and irresponsible. And I can't accept that you're doing that here on our premises. And it was just like, oh my god, someone at TMZ has more than just an annoying wife.
Someone stood up to Kanye West.
Yeah, oh god. Isn't the world weird? This past couple of
weird,
weeks, especially in the realms of entertainment bleeding into real world issues and more disturbing avenues, it's refreshing to know that there are still pockets of that world that we can go to for escapism. Even if that pocket is a pocket reality where shit gets fucked up and all of your dreams die. But again, we'll move on to Infinity War.
No.
Good time.
No.
We're going to be looking at all your emails later. There's quite a lot.
Yeah, so many emails this week.
And we're going to talk Infinity War. We're going to talk about it spoiler-free briefly. And then we will give a warning.
You can kind of only talk about it briefly spoiler-free.
Yeah, you've seen it. Like,
yeah.
If the way we record and release the show were different, we would have been talking about it last week, but that is not the way it is. So because of that, we're not going to pussyfoot around. We assume that if you want to see it, you've already seen it.
If things were different, it would have been different, but they're not, so it isn't.
Yeah, in many ways.
Yeah.
But first, a genuinely kind of happy entertainment story.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp second trailer dropped.
Yippee! We're getting this in July. This is the next Marvel movie.
What the fuck did it bring this time?
We got Luis returning. We got and in the back of shot. We didn't get to see all 3 of the guys, if I recall, but in the back of shot, out of focus, that is definitely David Desmolchin. Oh yeah, he's there.
So it's the full crew. Okay.
He's in there. And we got some great Hope and Scott into play, and Michael Douglas being cranky old Hank Pym.
and also quantum realm stuff. And
interestingly, there's still one main cast member of this movie that has not been touched on in the trailers.
Walton Goggins.
Oh no, he was in this one briefly. He's in the front of that car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
At the start, yeah.
Okay.
Who? Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, she's on the poster.
Yeah, we've got a first look at her face.
And she's wearing some sort of suit.
Suet?
No, she's not wearing. She's not wearing animal fat dumplings.
Oh.
Please have some decency.
Dumplings are nice, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are nice.
In many ways.
Very true.
As is Michelle Pfeiffer, but we don't see her in this trailer, so we'll have to assume that she's nice. But yeah,
we see a lot more of Ghost,
which looks cool because it looks like it's more of a petty crime angle that starts to get bigger and out of hand.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because normally the villains is that kind of thing of, I have a plan, and this is the plan I'm going to go with.
And the stakes will be unbelievably high!
I wonder if she's going to look extra creepy at any point, because the ghost traditionally is a really
quite emaciated,
really lanky dude, isn't he? Like, with a proper really scrawny limbs.
Could do.
So it could be, it could be a visual thing, because the visual effect for her looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like, in the suit, when she's phasing, she's sort of constantly, like, jittering.
Yeah.
Like, so that could create some nice visuals, but
it's
a pretty clean tech suit version of Ghost.
The Luis, like, sort of voiceover sort of links Ghost's powers to the quantum realm, so...
Oh, okay.
That could be interesting.
So it's not shrinkage, but it's sort of like travelling through the gaps in atoms.
Oh, no, you don't want shrinkage at Han Pym's age.
Oh, God. Scott, I need you to bring me the Viagra. I don't know what you're using this for.
Ant playing drums.
Yes!
There's an ant playing the drums.
Because of course there is. I think we can assume it's probably the ant from the last one.
Yeah.
It was being fed scraps under the table.
Scott Lang being kind of an incompetent Ant-Man. Giant salt shaker.
That was the best bit of the trailer,
And Bill Foster and Scott Lang comparing sizes.
Which is great, like the idea that... So for those who don't know, like Bill Foster is a former Avenger, very former, because he's fucking dead.
Yeah, have they brought him back? I don't think they have brought him back, actually.
No, he's like in the Uncle Ben club. Like, staying dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was Goliath.
It was Black Goliath originally, because everyone had to be called... Every black hero had to be Black something. But yeah, then it just became Goliath.
Yeah, because at the time, it was like an empowering choice that all the publishers were making. And then over time, they were like, it just looks like we're categorizing the black heroes in their own thing in a way that's a bit like, oh, no, you're not Goliath, you're Black Goliath.
But also...
It's like, it's sort of having the reverse effect of what we were doing.
Hank Pym was also Goliath for a little bit, and then
Clint
Clint Barton was Goliath for a little bit.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Leading into the Kree Skrull War. It's like, I'm not Hawkeye anymore, I'm Goliath now! I don't have bows and arrows, I just get big!
And punch shit!
Maybe we'll see that in a future Avengers film. Who knows?
Maybe hashtag Where's Hawkeye? But the angle they've taken with it's quite nice, because it's the same as with Hank Pym, you did this years back on the down low, like Hank did.
Yeah. Not that down low, at least 21 feet up, though.
65.
65.
That's my record. Again, it just looks fun. And I think it's quite nice that they've released it in the week fallout from... The week's fallout, not the week fallout.
Fallout
the week's
is not
fallout
week
from
Infinity
Infinity War. And that the marketing tied into it a bit, because there was a teaser for the new teaser trailer a couple of days before it came out, featuring some of the cast of Infinity War being like, where were Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
And like them kind of, debating it, and that tie-in marketing for some of this stuff has been brilliant.
Ooh, Ant-Man. De Matant.
I'll do you one better. Why is Ant-Man?
Why is Ant-Man? Why is Ant-Man not out yet?
That's nice.
Because it's out in July, that's why.
Scarlett Johansson teases the crap out of everybody in that, because she goes like, probably the same place as Hawkeye?
Yeah.
It's just like, wait, what?
What? No!
Love it. And then the trailer, just like the end of the assortment of people asking questions, just cuts to Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly looking at each other like, well, and then teaser, new trailer in 2 days.
Well...
I was like, great, that is how you do it. It's going to be a nice bit of recovery after the sort of the big grand scope, bleak, mega crossover event of Infinity War, to know that the next Marvel film is going to let us take a bit of a breather with an individual story.
Which Ant-Man did the same thing after Age of Ultron.
So we're going to get that again.
And also, it'd be interesting to see how it ties in with what happens in Infinity War. I think Marvel turned around and said that it's set before Infinity War. So it's set between Civil War and Infinity War.
That sounds about right.
But that I think there's been also rumblings that they will kind of dovetail together towards the end, which would make sense.
Yeah, maybe your mid-credit scene or your post-credit scene is where the two play catch-up.
Or maybe it takes place concurrently with Infinity War.
Yeah, I don't know. I think to keep it a comedy, you'd have to avoid the Infinity War tie-in during the main film itself.
Either way,
maybe mid-credits.
It'll probably mostly be standalone, and that's fine because, and then we get Captain Marvel in March.
Yeah, we do.
And then we get the as yet untitled Avengers 4.
Yeah, in May again.
Which Kevin Feige has been turning around and saying, I kind of regret not revealing the title now because everyone's made it out to be this huge thing and it's kind of not. It's just we didn't want to talk about it until Infinity War was out.
Fair enough.
So,
I remember the Russos near the time of it, because originally for ages it was called Infinity War and Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
And then briefly, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but one of the actors referred to the second one as Infinity Gauntlet.
No, it was in an interview, Zoe Saldana mistakenly referred to Infinity War as Infinity Gauntlet. And that the second one was Infinity War, but that was refuted. But yeah, it's an interesting time for Marvel movies. The grand experiment is in its final phase.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, what a weird thought as well. Like, because this won't be the end.
No, it's just the end of the beginning.
Oh, sorry, I'm blowing my nose like
you
crazy.
I'm looking at you and thinking, you're a disgusting man.
But
I love you.
Do you want to lick it?
No.
What about my nose?
No.
Oh.
Also no.
O's.
Yes.
Follow your nose. Follow your nose.
This is the end of the beginning of the grand experiment that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a reason that Marvel have kind of kept details of Phase 4 very close to the chest.
Yeah.
Outside of vagaries. Because they're pardon me. It's clear that they're going to pivot away from the older cast of characters and more into the new ones. Yeah. How they do that and what form that takes, we've yet to see. But it's nice knowing it's nice having a bit of uncertainty about what exactly is coming next.
Yeah, the only movies beyond the next Avengers film that we know are happening is a Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
But we don't know when or the context.
Yeah.
And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
But after Infinity War, it'll be interesting to see how that film tells a story.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to the main...
I think we need to talk about Infinity War. Briefly talking about Infinity War without spoilers.
Yeah.
Big
warning! If you haven't seen it, you don't want it spoiled, when we tell you in a few moments' time, get the hell out of here. Because the emails are going to contain spoilers too.
Yeah.
If you sent in an email this week and you still haven't seen it and you're worried about hearing Infinity War spoilers, go and see Infinity War, then come back to listen to the email section.
So the basic plot of Infinity War is the Avengers are fractured and disbanded
after
all over the place after Civil War, and Thanos is coming to get all the Infinity Stones, and you better look out because he's Thanos and he's gonna get all those stones. And when he gets all those stones, some shit's gonna go down, so you better stop him getting all the stones, and that's...
To avoid the shit going down.
That's Infinity War. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes of that, and... oh, boy, is it good!
It's not a solid film as a singular product.
Oh no, it's absolutely a culmination of everything that's come before. If you go into this not having seen at least most of the other Marvel movies, but particularly... Civil War, Black Panther, the other Avengers movies, and the Thor Ragnarok
helps a bit, for the weight of it all.
Then you're not gonna, but because they've done all that setup work, it just allows you to have a movie packed with this many characters that you don't have to establish and just go from set piece to set piece to set piece to plot beat to plot beat to plot beat without having to worry about catching everyone up on it because they trust that their audience has come with them on this journey because of course they have. I mean, look at the grosses for the Marvel films. Everyone has seen them.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go and see this, knowing who everyone is, what everyone's deal is, where they're coming from, and then so you don't have to waste any time on that. You can just say, okay, well, this is the journey we're going on now.
And if you want a pre-marathon, I think the easiest way to do it is to just watch Civil War onwards.
If you want a pre-marathon,
Civil War
the best way to do it is just watch all of them.
Well, yeah, but if you were like, oh, I've still not seen it yet, I kind of really wanted to watch them all again before I go, but I want to see it before people tell me too much about it. Skip Civil War, because Civil War gives you the context for all the characters involved in that story.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange will give you a big chunk of context for what you're going to see visually and what the importance of certain things.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will bring you up to speed with those characters again and their relationships.
Yes.
And there's the history of Thanos is touched on in that film through Nebula and Gamora's conversations.
Yes.
Spider-Man Homecoming, optional.
Spider-Man Homecoming, other than being a pretty cool Spider-Man story, has little to no bearing on this in terms of... Like, Spider-Man is Spider-Man in this. They've not done anything radical with Spider-Man in the
There's
MCU
one conversation
yet,
between Peter and Tony in this movie that feels like a little reward for those who've watched Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah,
in terms of where their relationship is at. And that's about it. Definitely watch Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah. Like, Thor Ragnarok, this basically
Thor Ragnarok
picks up...
feels like the prologue
to
this movie.
Yeah, this movie, it's not a spoiler to say because it's right at the start. This movie picks up pretty much where Thor Ragnarok leaves off. Like, that's where it's at.
Y'all. And that's that. I mean, that's your shorthand reading. When I say it doesn't work as a film just of its own, it's because this is a new wave storytelling. That's not me excusing it from not being structured like something we traditionally see. It's definitely out of the 19 Marvel films up to this point, the least coherent as a central, as its own product.
Yeah.
But that's because everything else so far has been an individual story or a direct sequel to that individual story. Yeah. This is the first one that is basically, it's a crossover event. It's a crossover event more than it is a movie.
It's a direct sequel to all of them.
Yeah.
It's pulling all the threads of the MCU together.
That stupid New York Times, a New Yorker article,
oh, yeah.
About it. The review for it in the New Yorker was dreadful, and the reviewer was basically like, the film expects you to be aware of who everybody is and understand their individual motivations. Off the bat, it doesn't pause to breathe and let you know who they are. And so many... The replies on Twitter were golden.
This is the 19th film in a series.
Yeah. A series that has, for the most part, given you individual experiences, but every now and again goes, thanks for sticking with us, here's a treat.
And also...
like, here's a treat where you just get to see some things mashed together.
It's a film which is the 19th film in a series, which stars characters who were already icons of part of pop culture, and in the last decade have become household names and part of pop culture, up to date, everywhere you look. Marvel stuff.
There it is.
It's there.
Soak it up, Sonny Jim.
Iron Man. They made Iron Man a fucking household name. Iron Man. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Jesus Christ. Rocket Raccoon and Groot are household names now. And you are complaining about this 19th film in a film series. Oh, it doesn't make sense on its own. Because you need to watch it in fucking context. It's like jumping to season 4 of a TV show and going, I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, one of the top Twitter comments, which was wonderful, someone said something like, I've just leapt into the finale of Breaking Bad. Am I supposed to care about who this Walter White gentleman is?
I know, right?
What's a Jesse?
What's a Jesse?
I didn't understand any of it.
What's a Jesse?
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, fucking... I mean, for starters, even if you don't want to consider the previous 18 movies, it's at least the sequel in name alone to 2 other films.
Yeah.
Which would give you enough context to understand who everyone is, in terms of your main players. And I think the film does a good job, because the film is definitely, at the beginning of the movie, it's an Avengers film.
Yeah.
As such, it takes time to sort of visually introduce Doctor Strange and Wong. Like, they're pretty much there almost immediately, but the scene that then plays out with those characters, you're like, you get to see a bit more and a bit more of like what they do and who they are, and you go, okay.
Yeah.
The film definitely introduces the Guardians of the Galaxy. It reintroduces Thor after his like tonal shift / world shake-up. Like it does the jobs. But then by the sort of 25-30 minute mark of the movie, you realise this movie isn't the Avengers movie.
It's the Thanos movie.
It's Thanos, the movie, the film, the book of the TV adaptation of the pamphlet.
Boy, was Thanos worth the wait. That was the biggest worry about this movie. It's like, are they gonna land Thanos? Is he gonna have gravity and weight and depth and breadth and girth
and
just
ball sack of a chin,
just rock hardness?
So it was referred to as Big Purple Nutsack.
Big Purple Nutsack. Grimace.
Yes. Oh,
fucking God. Thanos is great.
We got the Fisk formula again.
Yeah.
First 3 episodes of Daredevil, you hear about this person who's in charge of everything. You don't know too much about him, but you know that one mega scary assassin would rather kill himself than confront him.
Yeah.
And you get the sense of, who is this guy? And then by the time you meet him, you're like, oh, he's not that scary. And then by the end of that episode, you're like, oh no, he's terrifying. He's great. Thanos has been like that. He's basically been a prick tease for the last 6 years.
Yeah, he showed up, sat in his chair a bit.
Yeah, well, like
vaguely threatening.
I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy in that film alone, like he's the guy funding the villain.
Yeah. He just spends the whole thing sat in a chair.
Yeah, like and at the end of the movie, like, you know, Ronan gets the Power Stone, and there's like, right, I'm gonna screw stuff up, and then I'm coming for you. And then he cuts Thanos off, and you're like, right, what's going on? What's going on? You never get to see like the repercussions of it all, but you get the sense that the people who are working for him, you know, are in shaky allegiances and don't want to be with him.
Oh, yeah.
Either because they think he's a monster or because they're frightened of him. You're like, okay. Gamora and Nebula essentially fled from him by going to do stuff for his other operatives. Nebula seems a bit more loyal at first, but I suppose it's more a case of like, I'm the favourite now.
Yeah,
And then, like, you know, after that, it's more just little visual teases. In fact, I think the last time we saw him was
Age of Ultron post credits.
Age of Ultron post credits, yeah, and then he's spoken about in Guardians Volume 2 by Gamora and Nebula, and that's it. But it's laid enough that even someone who doesn't know who the character is, who's just a fan of the movies, would be like, "Oh, you know, Thanos. He's Gamora's dad. He's the guy with the glove."
The Wonder Glove!
The creepy, smiley, purple-faced man. That guy. So, like, you know...
The Eternity Mitten.
There was the tease of oh, God. Do you create the film titles for the Asylum's DVD release? Thinwin, Eternity Mitten. But, yeah. So, like, he's been teased enough. It was a worry that, like, he wasn't really going to live up to the thing. Because, again, the marketing's been doing a whole, like, it's all been leading to this. And what I think the marketing meant was not that this is the finale, because I mean, it's part 1 of the finale, but more that, you know, oh yeah, all that work we put in, all that stuff you watched, thanks.
This is the payoff.
This is the payoff.
This
for
is the
that.
payoff.
This is
for
where
everything.
the payoff begins, motherfuckers. And Thanos is a big part of that. He had to feel like a formidable threat, and boy, howdy, does he. Not only that, probably the best performance capture work throughout these movies.
Oh, Josh Brolin's great in this. You
really
just keep forgetting that he's a CGI character. Yeah, it's actually really underplayed in parts.
Which is wonderful. There's only a few times where he raises his voice even.
Yeah.
It's like, you have this big, scary, hulking behemoth, which the internet apparently has decided he's thick and people fancy him. Thick with the double C.
He is thick with a double C. Like, there's no getting around that.
He's aside from the broader shoulders, he's got a bit of a dad bod going on.
He's got his big purple dad bod. Like,
the dad bod stone is his seventh secret weapon.
If you found yourself a fan of David Harbour, then you're gonna love Thanos.
Oh god, if someone could just animate a mock-up of Thanos doing that dance from Stranger Things season 2, I think we'll all be very happy.
Yes, please.
But
certain people will be very happy.
But yeah, he starts the movie looking like we've seen him look so far, and then we get Infinity War version of Thanos, which is just the strip back, don't need this armor. I want to announce my arrival. I want people to see me.
Well,
I don't need to cover my body anymore.
I want to mention a little bit of that in this spoiler because I've got a theory.
That it's a demon. It's a dancing demon.
Yeah,
when something isn't right.
It is a dancing demon.
I got a theory.
It's
or else I could say it's making from.
No! Joss Whedon isn't involved in this anymore!
But he does look a bit like Thanos. Be painted in purple now.
The Russo brothers do a hell of a job.
God, they do.
They got a lot to juggle. Do you think they're taking bets on, like, how many characters do you think we can juggle in the next one, guys?
What? I think Civil War
was a test run.
It was a warm-up.
Yeah, it was an audition for this.
And that's not to dismiss that movie, but it does feel like they were testing waters. I mean, one thing, for example, a lot of this film we know was shot separately. A lot of the actors didn't work with each other. I think it was more a case of those who were in the scenes with each other were there on set, but wherever they could avoid it, people weren't interacting within the same space. And the reason for this was just to help with secrecy.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anyone got the full script.
A few people managed to get it. They had to make full appointment. I think Paul Bettany's one.
Yeah.
Who else? Pom Clementif, I think, got around to reading it all.
Yeah.
A few people did. Robert Downey Jr. claims that he has, but you sort of joked about it at the time when he talked about it. So it's like, did he, or did he just? I don't know. Wait, what? But the actors and people on the production crews could request the full script if need be. But it was like a 5-hour appointment to do it in this one location where they were given like this special iPad that had a code.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it was all that sort of stuff. But there was also a fake version of the script that was like 90% the same, but certain scenes were different, but definitely completely written out, just in case scripts leaked. So it's like, what? So it's how many of those actors actually read the real one, or did they read the fake one? It's like mental. But in Civil War, they did something similar in terms of people filming separately for secret's sake. Tom Holland, it seems, wasn't present for any of the airport filming. He was always... He filmed all of this stuff in a studio, sometimes in costumes, sometimes in a mocap suit.
Yeah.
Because I guess they were testing the waters of the Spider-Man outfit and what they could do with it. The only other actor he shot with for the airport sequence in Civil War was Chris Evans for their little tete-a-tete scene. Yeah. But again, it wasn't on location. That was all done green screen studio with props and stuff like that.
That's pretty fucking seamless as
well.
Because
I think a lot of Chris Evans' shots in that were done on site as well, just to be sure. But it's pretty damn seamless. The only scenes that he shot like with the complete cast and sets and everything was the stuff in Queens at the midpoint of the movie. So, keeping that in mind, they've obviously utilised that technique a lot to make this one. Because certain actors definitely weren't there together. Certain stuff was kept separate.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. And it's odd, because I remember being really like, oh, this is going to be a bit iffy when I found out that none of them really knew exactly the full story. Some of them, I think some of them claim that they only knew what their lines were. And they were given enough context by the Russos to make it work.
It's definitely
that's
feels like
worrying. As an actor, that feels like you're driving blind.
It's a machine. Yeah, but they're all... The thing is that they've got a great cast of proven actors.
Yeah.
Like,
that's true.
It's true. Even the younger ones like Tom Holland has come out and done Civil War and Spider-Man Homecoming plus whatever like non-superhero stuff he's done and proven himself capable enough to be like, oh yeah, I can handle this, no problem.
Yeah, well, maybe not the secret keeping.
Well,
him and Ruffalo are the two most notorious.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo's ridiculous.
Have you seen that footage come back from an interview about a year ago where he joked about what happened in
I've seen the headlines, but I can't remember.
It's just a very brief bit where someone says, like, that being part one or part two, like, how do you juggle, like, the filming and things like that? And he says, well, obviously, you're dealing with big cliffhangers and stuff, because in the first one, like, everybody dies, and he carries on talking away. Without giving away how much of a spoiler that is, because it's not accurate what he said, but it can certainly be interpreted a certain way. Don Cheadle looks at him, because he's in the interview with him, and he just gives him this look, like, says, like, dude. And then Ruffalo carries on like that, like, says what he said then, and Cheadle goes like, okay.
Yeah,
because they're all laughing. But the thing is, what he said isn't exactly inaccurate. Spoilers are on the way. Just a moment.
Should we just dive into spoilers? I'm not sure how much more we can say.
Yeah, let's wrap up with the Curious. Really solid villain. Really great to see all the characters together. Some really nice team ups that you never in a million years dreamed they'd do, but it works. Yeah. Especially including one where someone picks up someone else so they can both fire their guns at the same time. That is a magical freaking moment.
It's still got the trademark Marvel humour, and it's used to counterpoint the fact that this is a much darker movie.
Yeah.
In a very smart way. But make no mistake, this is very much, cliche as it is, this is very much the Empire Strikes Back of the MCU.
Yeah.
My friends took their 9-year-old and their 6-year-old to see it last weekend, and I was concerned that those kids would have a bit of an adverse reaction to some of the stuff that's in this movie. They didn't.
Especially the kind of how it...
Yeah. But, so, you know, I've got the seal of approval from younger kids that they can handle it, but just be aware, there is some dark stuff in this movie. And, like I say, they balance it as well as can be expected with the humour, but it definitely veers more towards the dark tone towards the end. Certainly not DCEU dark.
Yeah, oh god.
But dark for the Marvel Universe. It's great. It's just... It's a real accomplishment of technical filmmaking in terms of structure and character work and long-form storytelling across multiple films and payoff. And it's real good-looking spectacle sci-fi bonkers fun.
Yeah.
With a dark edge. Like...
It's the beginning of the end.
No, it's the end of the beginning.
What?
The end of the beginning.
It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. Aquarius.
Everything that comes with the suggestion given with the with that phrase is definitely there. You're gonna have a lot of fun. By the sounds of it, your kids, or at least, sort of 6 and ups, are definitely going to get it and have fun. Prepare to sob quietly.
Prepare for some emotions. Prepare for some feels. Because they get you. They get you, and they know how to get you. And we're going to talk about how they get you, because this is your final spoiler warning.
Final spoiler warning.
For Avengers Infinity War. We're going to be talking emails after this as well, so the rest of the podcast can be considered unsafe for spoilers. Spoilers for the rest of this podcast. Do not listen further if you haven't seen Infinity War and you want to remain spoiler free.
You got that?
Okay.
Let's go. So
everyone died.
Oh my god!
And we can actually say that.
That's true.
And it makes sense now.
Well, not everyone. 50% of everyone. Well, across the known universe.
Technically more than 50% of the main characters as well.
Yeah.
More die than don't.
That's true. Well, let's begin.
Let's do the body count.
At the beginning.
Begin the begin.
The surefire, not taken out by magical contrivance body count is 3.
Yeah.
We got 3 main characters of the movie series getting taken out.
Yeah. 2 within the opening 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, which I did not expect. Heimdall goes out, summoning the dark magics to bring about the Bifrost on his own accord once more.
Yeah.
To plummet Hulk back to Earth. To act as this story's Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And then is stabbed through the chest by Corvus's glaive, wielded by Thanos.
Corvus Glaive.
Yeah.
By Corvus Glaive.
And then Loki, in a rather, mate, where did you think this was going to go? But it was the nobility of what he was doing that was the point.
And also, it was pretty gnarly. I thought that was going to be the one that got the kids.
On my second viewing, which was yesterday, I was surprised by how visually graphic that looked.
Yeah.
He's basically choked out by Thanos, and then you just quietly hear his neck snap.
And also, like, his skin goes pale and his veins start to stand out. Oh, yeah. He has a bit of the Frost Giant blue to him.
The watery eye, his eyes get bigger, like they're sticking out. Like, it's unpleasant. And then he's dropped, the freaking corpse is dropped in front of a helpless Thor for him to look at whilst the rest of the ship blows to pieces.
Just that great sort of muted scream through the gag. That's really good.
Oh, it's horrible, man. But it's, like, that opening scene was like, yeah, here's the mission statement.
Well, it's
with Game of Thrones up in this bitch.
It's how you
Forget
establish
what
Thanos
you think
as a threat.
You know. Yeah.
You have him kill two main characters. Well, have him kill one and have his mate kill another. And then have him beat the shit out of the Hulk with his bare hands.
He beats the... Yeah. Thanos beats the Hulk so bad... How bad is it? He beats him so bad that he doesn't want to come out and fucking play.
He beats the Hulk into submission.
Yeah. At least that's what we're assuming is the Hulk's beef, but yeah.
Because no matter how hard Banner tries, for the rest of the movie, Hulk will not come out.
To the point of appearing sort of to basically protest and scream, no! And then disappear again. Like, my inner fanboy was having a fucking whale of a time watching that fight, because I was just like, okay. Every now and again, especially because we've marathoned the films recently in the build-up to this, every now and again I have to pinch myself, because I'm like, 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were lucky if we got a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Then we started getting more. We got maybe like 2 a year from different companies.
But so much of what made
so many of them were...
So much of what made you love the superheroes in the first place was stripped out of the movie versions.
Yeah.
And in some cases still is. I'm looking at you, Fox and X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Well, it's weird, because back then they were the ones who were kind of getting it right to a degree. Like, those earlier X-Men movies at least kind of got the gist of the concept.
Yeah, but weirdly, as that series has gone on, they've failed to capitalise on the more mainstream acceptance of the superhero trappings and stripped even more of what you like from the comics about X-Men out of those characters and
X-Men
stories.
Apocalypse feels like a movie that wants to be a comic book.
It doesn't feel like an X-Men movie.
It feels like a movie that wants to be a comic book movie, but it's still going through the filtered lens of the sort of comic book movie that X-Men was in 1999. Because X-Men was great when it first came out. It was like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome.
I don't think it's held up particularly well.
No, it hasn't. I don't think it's a bad film, that first one, but it very much belongs in the same camp as like Daredevil, Ghost Rider.
Oh, it's a cut above those.
Oh no, but I mean like in terms of the vibe, the actual impact of the product when you come out the back of it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You come out the back of it just going, yeah, that was a film about that thing, I guess. The difference is X-Men has some genuinely really cool lines of dialogue from time to time,
and some genuinely terrible ones.
A brilliant cast.
Yes.
Like, the reason X-Men has, I think, been a favourite and stayed a favourite during the 2000s is because the cast was so good for those, like, first three movies.
Yeah.
And also Vinnie Jones. I have no hate for Vinnie Jones, but that version of the Juggernaut is fucking awful.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, I think X-Men's, that's my theory. Those X-Men movies survived as well as they did and had a decent enough reputation for as long as they did because they were always very good at casting.
Yeah.
Origins Wolverine was the first one where it was like, really? What the fuck's going on here? And then they were like, oh, here's First Class. And you went, oh! Yeah. Oh, good casting again. They were always very good and then casting. Also January Jones.
They weren't always good at capitalising on that casting, though.
Very true. Very true.
Because they left so much of what makes the characters out.
Yeah.
And Infinity War actually does a really good job of that because they bring Thanos in and they sort of remove his like infatuation with death.
Yeah.
And for the better.
Definitely destruction, but it's not something he's not longing to hurt or destroy.
But it comes back to the cosmic. I mean,
we were talking about this in our supervillain episode.
Yeah.
I miss Muhaha villains to a degree because I feel like you can have a lot of fun with Muhaha villains, and like obviously sometimes they can just be that black and white that it's like, oh, they're kind of boring, but they look cool or whatever. But sometimes you find a way to make it work, like the Joker in 89's Batman.
Yeah.
He's not a sympathetic character whatsoever, but they balance out the fact that he's just a Muhaha villain by us getting to know him really well. And what makes him really likeable as a cinematic bad guy is that he takes such joy in the fucking horrible stuff that he does.
Oh, yeah,
and the charisma of Nicholson's performance. you're like, I really like the Joker in that movie. I don't mean not as a person. I just really like it. Like it's entertaining to watch that character.
Yeah.
And I was worried that was being kind of lost a bit more over the years. The grey area villains are becoming the thing, and that's not a bad thing because like some of the best superhero movie villains are the grey area ones. For example, Doc Ock, Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
You watch an honest, good man be corrupted by a tragedy and by technology out of his control, and eventually he manages to overcome it and turn back around.
Yeah.
But whilst he's doing dastardly stuff, he's pretty freaking scary. And, you know, it works really well. Magneto, again, that's one thing the X-Men films and that first couple definitely get right. Magneto is 100% relatable.
Yeah.
But he's not sympathetic because of the choices he makes.
Yeah.
So he's still a baddie, but you get him. So he's a great grey area villain in that first movie, especially, and a bit. They touch on it a bit in the second one.
Yeah,
and definitely in First Class, even though he's not really a villain in that. Whatever. But,
yeah.
So I was a bit worried that Marvel were losing out to just bland villains overall.
Yeah.
Then I saw Thanos, I was like, are we going to get like a moo-ha-ha villain? Are we going to get a big baddie, someone that the heroes have to rally around to fight?
Yeah.
No, Thanos isn't a moo-ha-ha villain. He's definitely a grey area villain.
We do get a moo-ha-ha villain in this.
Oh, but that's
Ebony Maw.
But that's the thing.
He was great.
They made the wonderful choice of going, right, Thanos will be intimidating and frightening, he'll definitely be the bad guy. Like Killmonger.
Yeah.
You will understand what he wants. You will sympathise with his cause, but you will understand that what he's doing to achieve it is fucking insane.
His methods are just
bonkers. It's like he shouldn't. Like Killmonger, you come out of it going like he has a point, but he's a fucking psycho, and he wants to kill people to make his point.
There are ways that he could do other. Like multiple people have said since this movie came out. It's like, oh, if you've got the Infinity Stones, why do you have to kill half the universe to make your resources go further? Just make infinite resources. Because he's a zealot.
Yeah.
He's become so focused on this idea that he can't see any other.
Yeah, there is no other
method.
way.
It's what he needs to do,
and he's been itching to do it. Like it obviously hasn't been his main plan. It's something that he's discovered over time. It's an option. The implication of that, of course, being that in Guardians of the Galaxy, well, in Avengers, we know that he has possession of at least the Mind Stone because he gives it to Loki to help with the invasion of Earth to get the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Like Loki's given the scepter, which we find out in Age of Ultron was the Mind Stone. Like, so that's like Thanos had one, and that was probably around the same time that he's like, is it possible? Can I get them all? Can I find them all?
Yeah.
So he knows that one of them's on Earth, the Tesseract. What? He sends Loki in to deal with that because Loki knows of the Tesseract because it was an Asgardian relic.
Also, at some point prior to Guardians of the Galaxy, he sent Gamora to find the Soul
Stone. Yeah. So he's definitely on the lookout. So there's that. Then in Age of Ultron, at the end of Age of Ultron, we see him pick up the gauntlet, which we now know he had forged for him.
Yeah, specifically for that purpose.
Yeah, which, could have been forged and then taken somewhere for him to collect or whatnot and such.
I imagine he forged it and then just had it in storage.
And the Infinity Gauntlet is definitely something that is, the concept of it at least, is known as a legend, hence why there's a fake one doing the rounds, sat in the Asgardian trophy room. So, the idea is that, like, Thanos hasn't been thinking about this for decades, going, I'm definitely going to do that, and then has had time to go, or maybe I should just, expand the living space.
I think it's one of those,
or make it so that food, for example, is something that isn't as big a necessity to people's biology.
Because he talks about
it's because just in the last few years, basically, he's gone, this is how I can do it, and he started getting
He's talked about the idea that, because he wanted to do it on Titan.
Yeah, not with the thing, he
he wanted to kill half
what he'd
people
been doing for years, yeah.
And they cast him out, and then they all killed themselves.
Yeah,
through pollution and war.
Of years, yeah.
So
everything he predicted came true. So you're a prophet.
Yeah. Oh. And it's.
I'm a survivor.
Oh God, he's so good. So he's just run with that idea, and I just kind of. I have the feeling that this idea's just been in the back of his mind, just gnawing at him for years and years.
And now he's found the means to do it quicker.
Yeah, because he's been doing it on a planet-by-planet basis.
As we see in the flashback to Gamora's world.
Yeah, that's how...
Oh my god, and also, can we just take a minute to appreciate how this movie... I mean, obviously it can't fix the other movie in context of itself, but this movie sort of fixes one of the big complaints about the Chitauri and the Avengers, is that, they just took out the ship and then they all died. It's like, what, they're just like generic grey CGI army. Well, in that movie, it's because we needed a non-personality for the Avengers to fight so we could see them as a team grow and get to know them and focus on them.
Yeah.
This movie basically, because this movie brings in the, I'm sure this is their name, the Outriders.
Yeah, that's what they're called in this. I don't know if that's what they were called in the comics.
They were from Infinity, weren't they? But this film introduces these, 6-armed, mindless, fucking feral creatures that die if that's what they're told to do.
Yeah, they're just berserkers.
Yeah.
You just release them and point them at something.
But they've got similar head, the Chitauris are a bit more elongated, they've got eyes, but they've got sort of similar physiology to them a bit. We see the Chitauri in this movie a lot. It's basically implying that Thanos acquires armies of fucking mindless or willless beings and uses them to act out his mission.
Drones, tools, essentially.
Yeah, with basic comprehension of science. Or at least, using a screwdriver to put a blue woman back together. Sort of. So, fuck. Let's talk about the Black Order. Sorry, Children of Thanos, but they're the Black Order.
Yeah.
So, Black Dwarf, aka now Cull Obsidian. Pretty scary looking dude.
Yeah.
Probably the most boring, quote unquote, of the four.
Doesn't say anything, he's just like a big old Hulk guy with a chain.
They make a sort of implication that he's very limited intelligence in general.
Yeah.
Because Ebony Moore or the character would say something and he'd kind of just sort of mumble the last word back to himself.
Yeah. He's the muscle.
Yeah.
He's the dumb
muscle. The big fucking scaly muscle.
Yeah.
With a launching chain claw thing.
Not that he's necessarily needed his muscle, because Ebony Moore proves that he's got the magics to spare.
Let's work to him. What the fuck did they call Black Dwarf again? Cull Obsidian.
Cull Obsidian, yeah.
Cull Obsidian, great, cool, fine. Great action set pieces with him. Especially his death is impressive as sin.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, my favourite from the books, kind of underutilised here, but that's fine, I don't care. Corvus Glaive.
Corvus Glaive, yeah.
Creepy looking motherfucker.
Very creepy.
Proper scrawny little limbs, spiky shoulders, spiky hood, big old freaking glaive in his arm. There was a really nice moment which I thought was cool because in the comics, right on. So in the film they're fighting in Edinburgh train station, which I still can't get over.
Yeah.
And Corvus is wounded in the fight, and then Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight get zapped up to the ship. And I think the film made a wise choice of never actually naming any of them at any point. Apart from...
No, they don't, do they?
Apart from the Ebony Maw at one point, when Strange and Thanos meet on Titan, Thanos goes, I take it the Maw is dead.
Yeah.
And that's it. But that's because in the film, their names are not important.
No.
Their names would just make casual filmgoers go, wait, what? What?
But what about Snoke's backstory?
That's for another time. Snoke was in this. Did you not see him throwing things around with his hands?
Oh right, okay, yeah, cool.
He just flattened his nose out. Put some Play on his face.
That's Snoke's backstory.
Squidward. When Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight get zapped up into the ship in Edinburgh, Cap's holding the glaive, and after a split second, it sort of shakes out his hand and shoots straight up with him.
Yeah,
that's a nice nod because in the comics,
he's tethered to his glaive.
He's tethered to his glaive, and specifically acts like basically a Horcrux.
Yeah.
Part of him is in the glaive. The two need to be as one to survive. So even if he died, those who knew about it could bring him back to life using the glaive. However, being stabbed through the heart with your own soul weapon connection Horcrux thing, that's going to kill you.
It's going to put you down.
As it does at the end of the movie when Vision stabs him from behind using his own glaive.
Yeah.
But it's just a nice little nod because it was because that'll heal him. I'm going to take that with him and he can get healed. Choking off in my own pants.
By Proxima Midnight.
Yes, who was, again, she's not given a lot of character, but she's basically shown to be a force to fucking reckon with.
Oh yeah. Don't fuck with Proxima Midnight.
Proxima Midnight gives us one of the film's coolest random team-ups. In the form of Black Widow and Okoye.
beating the shit out of her.
Only to have the fight cut off beautifully by Scarlet Witch coming in and mashing Proxima Midnight into the engine of one of their own vehicles.
Yeah. It's the action in this is just insane.
God. And then Okoye was like, what was it? What she said? She says like, why did she stay up there? Or why did she have to stay up there till now? It's like a good point. If Scarlet Witch had been on the battlefield, they probably would have taken out more of the Outriders sooner.
Oh man, Scarlet Witch really gets to cut loose in this. She's clearly been working. She's clearly been practicing.
Considering how she held back the last time.
Oh yeah.
She was worried about it, like who she was going to hurt in this.
She just gets to let loose.
Oh, you can hurt these things.
Oh.
I mean, if you don't, they're going to eat you or rip you to pieces.
Boy, does she.
And last but definitely not least, the Ebony Maw.
Oh, yeah.
They decided to give one of the children of Thanos a significant role, significant speaking part. Fuck, they did not mess it up. What I remember of Ebony Maw from Infinity is that he's... I think in the comics it's sort of alluded to that possibly he's, one with like the magics of everything.
He's psychic.
Yeah, this, oh Christ, in this he basically is just like, Magneto. Oh, that's funny. Watch me lift most of the streets.
He's telekinetic, isn't he?
And throw it in a gesture that looks like I'm batting a fly away.
Yeah, just no effort.
Phenomenal, but just like that calm, annoyed, whiny little voice.
Yeah.
Like everything's quite slow, and then he gets a bit frustrated. And it's just those little inflections. I can't remember the actor who did the mocap voice for him, but it's just like, when he tries to grab the Eye of Agamotto off Strange, when he's in the brick wall, and it burns his hand, he just pulls back and he goes, and it's just little noises you're like, we don't normally hear baddies make those kind of sounds. It's like
a bit snivelly.
He's putting on a performance, like he's doing it to please Thanos.
Yeah, because he's the orator, isn't he? Because he's at the very opening, he's orating to all the dead Asgardians.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, the City of the Gamora flashback as well, just when you can hear him, he's faint in the mix, but he's doing the exact same thing in the background.
You've got purpose, you're being murdered by Thanos!
To the population who 5 seconds later are shot dead by the Chitauri. And it's just like...
They literally split them down the middle. It's like you got a bunch of them on this side of the street, a bunch of them on the other side of the street, and the guys on the left-hand side of the street just get mown down.
Yeah. Because, let's face it, it's got to be fair. Yeah. It has to be random.
It's random.
Oh God, horrible. But Ebony Maw's great, and the fact that he gets an alien queen mother death is pretty cool.
You ever see that really old movie Aliens? It's not that old, Peter.
But it's to Peter. It's like
not that old.
It's like over twice his age.
Oh, jeez.
He's only a little kid.
Well, it came out before I was born, and I'm 30, and he's 15.
Yeah, over half his age. That's old to a teenager.
Let's... I don't know. It's difficult to think about what to talk about, so should we dive into emails and see what comes up?
Yeah, just expand and expunge. Let's do it. Let's merge this biatch.
Then I'll leave any, less Infinity War related emails to later. Okay.
Nothing will ever be okay again. That's the point.
No.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Oh my god. All those deaths at the end. So who did we lose at the end? We lost.
In order, Bucky.
Yeah.
In order-ish. Bucky, Sam.
Yeah.
Groot.
Yeah. Black
Panther. That was freaking heartbreaking because it's just the fact that it held on Okoye's face. Oh my god!
Watching him go.
General, get up! This is no. This is no way for us to win a war.
Yeah.
No one is going to die today. Arm starts to disappear.
Yeah.
He's gone. Oh my god! That was terrifying.
And even the ash doesn't stay there. That disintegrates as well.
Yeah. Oh.
And so there's literally nothing left. Do you think we're going to get an Okoye Black Panther?
Who is it who becomes the Black Panther in the book? Shuri does, but Shuri's a bit too young. Plus, I think Shuri has a different role to play in terms of the second film.
Yeah.
Well.
If she's still around, we don't even know if she's still around.
Oh, she will be. You tell me they're going to bench Letitia Wright for the next movie?
Well,
they can't bench Chadwick Boseman and Letitia Wright. Then again, we still get Denai Guerrera and Winston Duke, who was fine.
That's true.
M'Baku was fine at the end.
Around.
M'Baku and his whole 2 lines of dialogue were fine. But it was M'Baku.
Can
you believe we're at that point where we had an Avengers movie with everyone teaming up, and one of the characters that the audience was most excited to see was the man ape of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're not calling him that because a little bit weird, but like, that's the character that people were excited to see in the screening.
Yeah.
In the first screening I saw it, people audibly went, "Hey!" when he rocked up. We're at that point.
I love it. I love it so much.
Matt, oh my god, 10, 15 years ago. Oh my god, aren't we so lucky to have a Spider-Man movie? Now, fucking the Winter Soldier,
M'Baku,
going under the name the White Wolf, picks up Rocket Raccoon and spins him around to shoot Outriders.
Rocket wants his arm.
He's going to get that arm.
He's got a thing for prosthetic limbs, hasn't he, Rocket?
I love that. I hope, I know it's weird, I hope they never allude to it directly, but you know it's in James Gunn's sensibilities. I hope that basically just turns out to be like Rocket's fetish.
Oh, it definitely is.
Because it's like taking like not even keeping them, just the thrill of knowing that someone who's meant to have it doesn't have it anymore.
I don't need it. I just wanted to take the life.
What was his face like when you asked him? Was he all hoppling around? But like, I mean, like the freaking eye that he gives to Thor, it's like he's nicked that from someone.
Yeah.
It's specifically eyes and limbs, isn't it?
It's not the eye he gets in Guardians 2.
No, but
it's a different eye. He mentioned, because he takes it, I saw this in my Sunday Movies video, the planet he mentions he got it from is the planet with all the sex robots on from Guardians 2.
Yeah.
So he nicked it from a sleeping sex robot, probably.
So, oh god, what were we getting at with that? Oh yeah, so Groot, Sam,
Groot,
Bucky,
Rocket's the only Guardian left.
Hang on, unless you count Nebula, but yeah. T'Challa and Scarlet Witch are the ones who disappear from the battlefield.
Yeah. And Vision's already dead.
Vision's dead.
Heimdall, Loki, and Gamora are already dead.
Yeah, oh fuck, man. Although I think one of those is going to be reversed. Because it's tied into something directly involved with the Gauntlet.
I would be shocked if any of the Guardians stay dead.
Yeah. But, on Titan, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Mantis, and Drax all disappear.
Just leaving Tony alone with Nebula.
See, I forgot Nebula was there briefly because she obviously shows up at the very end of the fight. Yeah. And I kind of thought it was going to be just Tony on his own. And I was like, oh my god, that is the bleakest fucking ending. Yeah. But I suppose it makes sense, and also you kind of need the story to progress by having someone who can get them out of there. Do you know what I mean? So, and obviously Nebula is now our only immediate connection to Thanos out of all of the characters. And she's got a bone to pick, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we see vanish, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh god, man, just...
Peter, it was just heart-wrenching. The panic in him.
You know, I wanted him to fade then and there. I think they added that moment of him lying down and saying "I'm sorry" calmly was like that last minute panic of, oh my god, this will be the thing that makes kids scream.
Yeah.
So maybe let's soften it slightly. But I would have loved the balls on him if it was him falling to Stark's arms saying, "I don't want to go. I don't." And then he's gone. That would have wrenched my soul through my groin. That would have been horrible. But even so, it's a Mr. Stark. I don't feel so good because you suddenly realise, oh, not Spider-Man as well. Yeah. He's just a kid.
Everyone.
And Maria Hill and Nick Fury.
Oh yeah, but not before Nick Fury puts out the call to
on
Captain Marvel
on a fucking really souped up 90s pager as well, which is really cool.
So, which begs the question. Where is she? Why is she? When is she?
I'm going to ask this once. Where is Gamora?
I'll do you one better.
Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Drax, again, has all the best lines in the movie.
Do it, Quill. I can take it. You really can't. Just a full fucking phaser into the face. Oh gosh, when Peter's panicking, when his Mantis starts to approach him and he just freaks out. He's like, please don't put your eggs in me. It's just like webbing her, trying to get away. Oh my god. Right, now
I mastered the art of staying so still. I become invisible to the naked eye.
You're reading, was it Growlnuts or whatever? It's like,
My movements are imperceptibly
slow.
Nope.
It's just when Mantis comes around the corner and goes, "Hi, Drax!" And he just looks for a second and he goes, "Damn." I believe
So good!
he's uncredited, but James Gunn wrote or advised
on all the Guardian dialogue.
All of the Guardians dialogue.
Because they feel like the Guardians.
Yeah.
They don't feel... they've done a really good job of keeping all the characters' growth up to this point intact.
Well, we were saying downstairs before we
Chris
started
Hemsworth was worried that...
even Thor, like, there is enough of the humour in Thor's stuff at the beginning, slowly kind of saps away for very understandable reasons, that makes you still at least feel that if you watched Ragnarok and then like a few days later watched Infinity War, it was definitely the same character.
Yeah.
You're still watching the same character. Yeah. Few little bits about the beginning as well before we forget. Tessa Thompson recorded a scene. They've still not confirmed what it was, but based on what Thor says, like half of the Asgardians are dead, I think it's safe to assume that Valkyrie's scene was probably Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek, and a bunch of Asgardians getting off the ship. And it's likely she probably was like, "No, I want to stay here," and they're like, "No, they fucking need someone to look after them. Get on that ship, go." So it's a shame she's not in it, but at the same time, I think it's pretty obvious to figure out what her role would have been. The Asgardian distress signal at the beginning, which again plays into it later, because that's what the Guardians are trying to find the source of.
Yeah.
I'd heard about it after I saw it, and then on my second watch I went in with my ears ready for it. It definitely fucking was. Uncredited cameo by Kenneth Branagh.
Yes.
Which is nice. It's like the guy who brought us the first movie gets to send out the distress signal for essentially the death of Asgard.
Good old Chuckles Branagh.
Good old Gilderoy Asgardian.
It's just woof. Let's get into emails and more things will come up. Just from this first one, I can always see many things coming up. This is Dan Rawlings. He says,
Dan Rawlings!
Infinity
It's
Weir.
great to stay up late, Dan Rawlings is here!
Infinity Weir is proper canny like.
Has he written that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he has!
Infinity Weir.
I just thought it was you being whimsical,
no.
but it turns out the two of you have merged into one Geordie being.
Oh, by Mephisto's knees! Where do I start? Well, his knees is probably a good place, quite low down. I absolutely adore this film.
I gave up my future marriage and future child.
However, I struggle. No, it didn't happen. I struggle to rate it. If I could, I'd give it 10 out of 10, but I feel like this was an event, not a film. And geez Louise, it was emotional. I've never had chills so much throughout a film in my life. It's like an event. It's not like... It's just it's a part of something so much bigger than a film.
The last thing I could compare it to is Avengers.
Yeah.
2012 film.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was a feeling of a bit of it in Thor Ragnarok. There was a bit of that in there.
What about Justice League? In terms of it's a shame we didn't get to see Thanos take the Power Stone from Xandar, which was the rumoured opening scene, but I was blown away by how well different characters worked together so well, and the return of the Red Skull made my jaw drop!
Yeah.
I thought the Soul
that's
Stone,
something we need to talk about.
I thought the Soul Stone would be in the largest socket in the gauntlet because it had been the most mysterious and seemed to be the most interesting, but whatevs Trebs, it's fine. Highlights for me are Tony calling Eddie Moore Squidward, Vision getting stabbed out of nowhere, Cap showing up at the station in that fucking amazing music, Thanos getting stabbed, Heimdall getting stabbed, Tony getting stabbed, and loads more actually. I could do this all day! Not sure about the post-credit scene. It's got me interested in Captain Marvel, but Nick Fury saying, kind of spoiled the atmosphere created by the ending. I really, really like this film, but why is Gamora?
Nice.
Red Skull.
It's
not Hugo Weaving.
It's not. And I kind of figured that out about 5 lines of dialogue in.
It's like, very good Hugo
Weaving-esque. I can't remember his name, but he's a Walking Dead actor, isn't he?
Ross something. I'll look him up.
He's a Walking Dead alumni.
Carry on talking.
And a fine impersonator.
Yeah, he's a well-renowned mimic.
His accent, his voice is sort of, it's like 80% there.
Yeah.
And
it's so close.
But I think that worked because unless you just watched the first Avenger, like before it, you'd go, "Oh, that's Red Skull." Like you know, it doesn't shake you too much. But I've got a bit of an ear for voices, so I was like, is it?
Also,
There were about 5 lines and I was like, no, that's not him. But
he's been on that planet for like 80 years.
Yeah, now that was interesting because it also calls back to a prediction we made ages ago. We said something we'd like to see is any of the Infinity Stone vanquished foes getting brought back in some way or form to basically fight alongside Thanos.
Yeah.
As we saw from this movie, he don't need that. But this confirms that there is a bit of a connection thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Ronan was, wiped out by the Power Stone, and Malekith was wiped out by the Ether, the Reality Stone.
Yep.
In this instance, the Space Stone, the Tesseract, zapped the Red Skull off into the wherever, and it turns out that he landed at least somewhere within reach of this planet, because the Red Skull arrived in space, acclimatized, and then began searching for the other stones.
Yeah.
Because of course he would. He's the Red Skull. But has obviously got to the point where the Soul Stone must have been the first one he became aware of. And then once getting there has realised the cost. And it seems like, as well, the stones have, whether they know it or not, something that the children of Thanos refer to as the Stone Keepers. There's always someone who is considered the guardian of the stone, whether they sort of know it or not.
Yeah.
So, for example, like Vision would be considered the Stone Keeper of the Mind Stone.
He's played by Ross Marquand.
Yeah. Lovely man.
Who was Aaron in The Walking Dead.
There you go, folks.
Along with various other voice roles and small parts here and there. But yeah.
And also,
that's who played him.
One of the things Hugo Weaving hated about playing the part, I mean, Hugo Weaving basically said on record he was not going to do another Captain America, nor was he ever going to do, quote unquote, that type of film. He shortly around
a successful film.
Well, no, shortly around that time he ditched his Transformers contract. I believe he bought himself out of it.
Yeah.
So he was no longer Megatron. That's why they killed off Megatron and resurrected him, turned him into Galvatron.
And then just made him Megatron
And then made him Megatron again, but now he's just voiced by Frank Welker because he always should have been.
But Frank Welker doesn't sound like proper... Oh, no.
It's weird.
Never mind, next.
Oh, God. We'll get to the Transformers later.
Don't.
So, it's... but all the same, one of the complaints he had about that movie that I remember reading around the time was he hated the makeup process. Like, he finds it so restricting. It's just like, I don't know. You looked great, and you acted really well in it, so you're obviously a good actor, but he's like, no, I'd rather not. The same thing that put Alan Cumming off coming back to do a second stab at X-Men, the third X-Men movie. But, this Ross fella, he won out, because it was fucking performance capture.
It was all CGI.
So it just would have been him, with a bit of makeup around his eyes, probably, like maybe the prosthetic brow, and then just a bunch of dots.
Like, just the dots.
Like, perfect. Just fucking perfect.
Yeah. And it looked great
so
as well.
So the Red Skull is now sort of a lonesome, possibly, like, it seems like he's got a power or something.
Yeah, he's empowered somehow.
He's obviously old as balls. Like, this sort of proves the comic book thing of, like, the super soldier serum does slow your aging down to a degree.
Either that or it's the Soul Stone doing some magic on him.
Yeah, and he's basically now the keeper. And I like that as a nod, because it was basically just we need a creepy keeper looking after the Soul Stone to explain how you get it.
The creeper.
The creep keeper. A skeletal person in a cloak to be a keeper of some kind of crypt?
The crypt keeper.
But that was a great idea, because it's like, whatever happened to Red Skull? Now we know. There you go. He ended up in space, continued his quest to look for the stones, and learned of the heavy burden and the price of the Soul Stone, and instead became its guardian.
Also, for anyone who has seen Snatch, Benicio del Toro being pinned down and asked, where is the stone, is kind of fun.
That's cool.
Where is the stone?
But lastly, before I forget, also, I think this was this movie's way of giving the hardcore Thanos fanboys out there a little nod to his comic book story, because this gave us a visual representation, even just as a little treat, a little nod, of death. It was a black flowing cloak with a skulled face, skeletal face underneath the hood.
But no beautiful lady.
Yeah, not Lady Death, but all the same, it looks like they're not doing that outright. Although that little bit at the end suggests that maybe they're going to touch on at least the idea of there is something bigger than him that is, like, looking in on him. when the little Gamora appears before him at the end briefly and asks, "Is it done?"
Yeah, which has prompted people to suggest that Gamora is in the Soul Stone now.
Yeah, well, her body's fucking dead, but yeah,
because
absolutely.
because it was a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice Gamora to obtain the Soul Stone,
and we don't know what the Soul Stone does in terms of the film. In terms of the film's canon,
it's nebulous.
It just appears to be like, oh, you need that to harness all of them.
Yeah. You just need it because it's the last one. I imagine we'll get some Soul Stone goodness in the next movie.
Goodness.
It's a short one from Ian says, very short one. Chris, what did Guy think of Avengers Infinity War? Was he sad when Stephen Peele died? By the time you're reading this, terrible. No. Terrible, Ian! I should have seen Ghost Stories, though considering I work the midnight to late Sunday showing in Infinity War, I doubt anything in that movie could scare me. Yeah, probably. It's, I imagine Infinity War. I went to see it in IMAX. And it was rammed. Absolutely rammed.
Did you have to pay extra for that?
Oh, yes.
For the ramming?
Yeah.
Did they at least moisten it up first?
Because I'm on Limitless, but I had to pay for the seats, and pay for the glasses, and pay for the ramming. And the surgery afterwards. Lewis says, hello, Chris and Matt.
Guy liked it as far as I know.
Well, Infinity War was a bit marvellous, wasn't it? I've seen it twice now, and it definitely lived up to my immense expectations. The Russo brothers managed to deliver a sometimes bleak but immensely fun superhero blockbuster. It was sort of a contradiction in terms, but it worked really well. I was in awe at the sheer scope of it. I've not heard anything from reviewers about how beautiful this movie looked, but I counted at least 5 shots that looked like posters I could hang on my wall. I even teared up a few times. I don't want to go, anyone? Oh, don't. Something worth noting is that every time I've seen an MCU flick at the cinema, people have left when the credits started up. In my first viewing of this, no one left. It was a lovely feeling. People fucking left in my screening.
Yeah.
The
IMAX, you paid that money to witness it in IMAX.
I just don't get it.
You're clearly here because you like these movies.
Why would you know? You know there's going to be a post-credit scene. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Though I must say, apart from that, it was one of the worst cinema experiences I've ever had to endure. I know this feeling. Not only did I have a running fucking commentary from people around me,
oh God,
but not only did I have to listen to the rustling of food packets every 2 seconds, but there was a 3-year-old screaming and shouting. At one point, he just shouted out, "Thanos is gay." I was fuming.
That is a weirdly cognitive and homophobic 3-year-old.
Yeah, I was like, that 3-year-old. that I would be concerned that 3-year-old is being taught some really homophobic bullshit. Homophobic bullshit.
Radiophonic. That 3-year-old from the Radiophonic Workshop is oh wow.
That is some venomous homophobia from a 3-year-old. No good at all. So that I saw it a second time with no interruptions. In that respect, do you have any stories of awful cinema experiences? That's all from me. Tatty bye! I've very rarely had a cinema experience so bad as to ruin a movie. I've had annoying things happen. Like when we saw It, we had the fucking the lads club doing the commentary behind us, which was annoying. But, I just kind of tuned it out. Well, I get that it's annoying, though.
Wasn't that same screening where some people down on, the 3rd row at one point were, chatting away really loud, a couple of girls, and someone further up got up and went, "Hey! Shut up!" And then sat back down.
I don't think that was that one.
I'm sure it was it. I went to see it again the next week with Lou and Sarah. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember thinking, oh my God, is this movie cursed?
I remember people Snapchatting in a front row of something we saw.
Oh God.
But yeah, just little bits and pieces, nothing terrible, but annoying things. Actually, one of the weirdest things I had was, and this is not a cinema experience, but when I went to see Metallica at the arena, fucking 70-odd quid a ticket, yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was sat on me and my old man. We had to get seating tickets. We were sat on the end of one of the upper tiers. Every 2-3 minutes, we had to get up and let someone in or out.
Jesus.
During Metallica's set. What the fuck are you doing at spending 75 odd quid or more to see fucking Metallica and then walking out every 2 fucking minutes? What's wrong with you?
It's like when you go...
How often do you get to see Metallica fucking play over here, and then you're just going to spend your time going in and out to the fucking bar to get an overpriced beer? Fuck off, sit down, or stand up, I don't care which you do, but stay in there and watch the fucking show! Jesus!
People who spend the entire gig filming it on their phone.
Oh, fuck off! I hate that so much!
I understand if you want to get your phone out at one point and take a pic.
I don't understand. I'm going to put my hand up and say I don't understand.
Or if you want to get your phone out and randomly record like a 20-second video during your favourite song or something, just to be like, oh my god, I was there when they performed my favourite song and here is a little snippet of it and I can look at it and remember that night.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But when people just film the whole thing, you're like, why are you here?
Fuck you.
Why the fuck are you here?
Put your phone away. Put it away. This one comes in from John. Hello, my dear sweet sugar. Title of this one is Thanos collected all the Infinity Stones. You won't believe what happened next.
You clickbaity cock.
Have you seen the fucking headlines that CBR have been doing all week since fucking Infinity War came out? Oh, like every tweet from CBR is like a clickbaity article about this happened in Infinity War, and here's the thing in Infinity War you missed, and why Infinity War is good, and why Infinity War is bad, and why this thing in Infinity War was stupid, and why fuck off CBR. Just write an article. Ugh. Hello, my dear sweet sugars. It is I.
Don't listen to him. He's one of the 5 Who cooks.
John McBeardface Cranston, here to inject a new form of cosmic terror into your email section. I saw a little film over the weekend. You might not have heard of it.
Oh.
It was called Avengers Infinity War. And as I left the cinema, it came to me that it might be a film you big damn lads, TM, would enjoy. It was rife with outlandish action, interstellar intrigue, a colourful cast of heroic rouges, that's supposed to be rogues, and a couple of very subtle comic book references. Also death! Lots and lots of death. Like half the population of the universe dead by my count, so I recommend to you fellas if you think that's your type of thing! Of course I'm just being a massive whack tease, and suspect that this week's episode has been almost entirely preoccupied with chatter over Marvel's latest cinematic outing, and rightly so! Personally, I've spent the last few years since Age of Ultron growing more and more restless with all things comic book movie, be that MCU or whatever DC is trying this week. The last film I saw being Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which really didn't do it for me. So imagine my surprise when I realised about 15 minutes into this movie that I was really funkin' enjoying myself. That's funkin' with an N, not a C. Don't censor me. I'd only seen one trailer in the build-up to this film, and my response was a nonplussed shrug and an added, I am a little interested in the backstory of Thanos and little Gamora, at least. This film, however, succeeded in melting my cynical heart. Not only did it deliver on that interesting backstory between our big purple space baddie and his wee green adoptee, Infinity War reinvigorated my love for the characters in this universe and made me appreciate others better than their own standalone films had done. I'm looking at you, Doctor Strange! Good, clean family fun all the way. I find myself swept up in the narrative and totally invested in the sheer craziness of the intergalactic opera that unfolded before me. And of course, the ending. Yes, I'm sure we all thought, well, they'll obviously fix this next movie, but I am sold nonetheless, with great performances selling the eerie and bleak deaths of all the characters we love. I tip my invisible hat to writers and directors for sticking the landing. I could ramble on and on about this film, but I'd like to end by highlighting what is possibly the most haunting, yet captivating shot in the film, for me. Thanos, sitting and watching the sunrise, and the smallest twitch of a smile before the cut to black. That is some tasty, tasty pathos right there. Now available in the frozen section at your nearest supermarket. I won't ask you any questions, and I'm sure you've answered them all in your dissection of the movie. Just know that it left me wanting to see it again, and I am now eagerly awaiting the next film. Thanks for all the big damn laughs, TM, and for keeping me sane while animating monkeys at work. Forever yours! John.
Can this podcast from now on just be you reading out things written by John Granson? I would love that. That narrative voice and the writing flowed very well.
I just ran with that one. That was quite good.
Hot diggity! That
hot
ending
diggity,
shot is freaking beautiful because it is just like,
and like you said, it's Thanos
like,
the movie.
bye, everyone.
Like it's his story, and he thinks he's the hero. We know he's not the hero of it, but. And he's not presented like that, but because he thinks he's the hero of it.
Mm-hmm.
that's why it works so well. It's very good.
Did you spot the suit of armor Scarecrow?
I didn't. I need to see it again.
It's on the only comment on the second, but it's a nod to that panel.
This
the panel of him sat in the farm in the middle of the crops.
This
just
was my theory, by the way.
Having a drink and sitting there, and there's the Scarecrow wearing his old costume. In this, when he first walks out of that shack, bottom right, out of focus, in the field next to him, is his armour hung up on a Scarecrow.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
When he takes his armour off at the start.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And throughout. Does he get bigger every time he gets a stone?
I don't know if he gets, like, significantly larger, but maybe...
I think that's one of the reasons he takes his armour off, because it looks like he's getting bigger.
When does he first remove it?
He first removes it as soon as he gets the...
Oh no, it's just before he puts on the Tesseract.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be. There's definitely like a power surge moment. But I thought it was more a visual choice just to be like, oh, he don't need this shit.
Like, I mean, it's difficult to tell.
He got the glove
because he's massive anyway.
Yeah, he's like 9 foot,
getting bigger.
10 foot. Yeah,
I don't know. Difficult to tell. But that was my little theory.
Can we talk a theory before we move on to the next email?
Yes.
So, I posted this on Twitter the other day, for those who weren't sure what I was talking about. I'll explain it now, where I put, I think Redacted did this for Redacted.
Yeah.
So, Doctor Strange takes a moment to look to any possible future outcome of the conflict.
Yeah.
To see what resolutions they could take.
Yeah.
So he could at least be sort of aware of what steps to make. And he finds like, I think it's something like 14,605,000, something like that.
Some ridiculous
possible
number.
Outcomes, and only one of them results in a victory over Thanos. Like, that is how screwed they are.
Yeah.
And that's mostly used in that moment to make you go, oh god, they've got one shot at this, they really need to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of brushed over and it moves on. Earlier on, Strange says to Stark, when they agree that they need to go to Titan to take the fight to Thanos, Strange says to Stark, like, if the choice comes between saving you or the kid or the stone, do not think I'll hesitate to do anything but the last. Like, I will not hesitate to let you or the kid die. And it's a moment where you go like, alright, you dick.
He's a dick in it. Like, him, like, Strange and Tony do not get on, and it's great.
It is brilliant, and you just know they'll get on in some way in the second one, in some part, in some possible way, and we'll probably get the facial hair bros high five moment. God. With one of them being just as reluctant as he was in the comic.
Yes.
But yeah, so, like, Strange makes it clear that, like, the Time Stone is more important than you.
Yeah.
But then, Thanos guts Tony in a moment which comes the fuck out of nowhere in the middle of the fight, just tears the thing off and stabs him.
Yeah.
And then walks him slowly backwards and then sits him down. Because that was something else I noticed about Thanos. He doesn't take pleasure in killing people.
He doesn't kill them
himself.
unless he has to.
Yeah. And even then, he's not like, haha, I win! He's just like, right, moving on. Like, I mean, he lets Quill live on 2 occasions. Like, he just...
Even after Quill straps a bomb to his back and then jumps into the portal while giving him the finger, which is a great moment.
Brilliant. But, like, so... Like, he stabs Tony, lays him down, even says, like, after this, half of humanity will still be alive, I hope they remember you. He's even
a great line.
He's even,
Such a good line.
He's even saying, like, there and then, he's like, I admire, like, how far you tried to go to end me. Even though it amused him a moment ago that it was like, all of this for a drop of blood.
Yeah.
And he backs off and he goes away into one of his space stone portals and he disappears. And but the reason why he leaves him be is because Strange trades the Time Stone for Tony's life.
Yeah.
And you're like, the fuck? And he says, why did you do it? Why did you let him go? And all Strange says is, it's the end game.
Yeah, we're in the end game now.
And then the last thing Strange says, I think, is he says, like, I'm sorry, Tony, or something like that, and then he fades away. After the movie, I realised, like, it's not just a case of him last minute being like, oh god, no, I can't let this guy die.
Yeah, no, he knows what he has to do.
I believe that in the one timeline where they win, Tony is alive. And that was Strange's last attempt to make sure they're at least on course for the correct timeline.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a guarantee that they've won, but it's like, if Tony dies now, we're definitely not in that.
Yeah.
We're not in that
But if
narrower
I can
margin.
keep him alive long, if I can keep him alive through this, then there's a chance we're on the right track. It does seem to imply that that he's left them on the right course. Whether they'll get there, well, I mean, they're going to get there.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those. I know that like most, if not all, of these characters are coming back in some fashion. I know that the deaths are going to be reversed because they've not finished with these characters. It's the old Avengers that have been left because the next film is going to be wrapping their stories up for the new crowd to take over.
Because I was going to say, out of all the characters that are left, 6 of them are the original lineup.
Yeah.
Well, as far as we know, we don't know if Hawkeye is still around, but yeah, he's totally still around.
Well,
when they did the 10 years of Marvel photo shoot for Entertainment
Yeah.
Weekly last October, one of them was Jeremy Renner in a new costume with a new haircut, and it's like, oh, that's what he's going to look like in Infinity War.
Yeah.
And he wasn't in it.
So
he's definitely in part
because
2.
they were talking about him being Ronin. So now the theory's going around that all his family are going to be dead. So he's going to become Ronin.
I hope not. I'd rather his family be alive.
But they'll be back
I
by the
want
end
him
of that
to.
movie.
I want him to have a happy ending.
Yeah, it will have a happy ending.
Yeah. All right.
But like his
they disappear.
Yeah, all his family disappeared.
Gotcha.
In the Great Disappearance. Yeah.
The Great What the Fucking.
Yes. So. Yeah. So it's not. For me. It's not the question of whether everyone will come back, and that's spoiling it for me. It's the question of how they'll all come back. It's why I'm not such a big I'm not massively bothered about spoilers in general, because it's not about where we end up, it's about how we get there. That's the interesting thing in storytelling for me.
The journey's the key thing for you.
So it's not. So it like kind of knowing that everyone's gonna be back and it's gonna be a handover thing. That's fine because I want to see how we get there. Like, because we predicted last week this was going to end with the finger snap.
Yeah. We just didn't realise that it would be the finger snap and then another 5 minutes showing us the effects of the finger snap.
But because where you're going to tell this story, where else you're going to go with it? You have to. It's kind of the only place you can go. So again, it wasn't.
Because if you got as far as like he gets 5 of the stones, then the 6th one's destroyed, and then they turn the tables and defeat him.
Well,
you're always going to come away from that movie going, "I had a really great time," but it's a shame we didn't get to see like
and also like what's the next one going to be?
Yeah.
Like, where do you go from there?
And also, like, how does it work? The people who get brought back when everything in that respect is reversed, are they going to remember? To them, is it going to be like they're all brought back a minute before it happens?
Yeah.
Like,
who knows?
Who's going to remember? Are the characters that survived it going to remember what happens? They will always live with the pain of that horrible loss when it happened.
Yeah.
Will they be appreciative of the fact that things are back to normal, or will they have completely changed their outlook on everything and how safe they feel? Like, it's, there's definitely stories that, like you say, it's all about, like, where the journey takes you and how the journey happens.
That's what I'm interested in. Anyway.
There's a bunch of possibilities. All I know is someone better give Peter Dinklage some hands.
Oh, man. I love the fact that they just made him enormous. Like, he's Eitri the dwarf, and they call them the dwarves. The race is dwarves.
Yeah.
In Nidavellir? Or whatever it's called.
Nidavellir.
But the great forge of the dwarves. Where Mjolnir was made and where they go to get Stormbreaker.
Oh, there was a guy behind us in the screening yesterday who, like, he was further along the row, who, when he was talking about, like, he said to summon the Bifrost, and he turned to his mate and he went,
yeah, it's going to be Stormbreaker.
And I just had that nice little feeling in my tummy because, like, this dude's about to get the nicest little surprise. Because he's like, Stormbreaker. And again, like, they imply that this is, like, it's a mould, so it's something that has either been made before or is, like, one they've always wanted to make.
Yeah, well, I think that they kind of imply that Odin was planning to make it anyway.
Yeah.
But because of everything that happened, didn't get round to it.
All I'm saying is there is a metallic version of the same weapon in the queue for Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and the
awesome.
because
this has Groot's arm
Tivan
as
Thingy
the
collection.
handle.
Yeah. So there is a version out there somewhere else, according to the little extra bits of canon in the theme park.
So
that has been it said it was acquired in combat. From I can't remember what race Beta Ray Bill is, but on the placard it says that
those horsey-looking motherfuckers.
He was last seen looking for it, hence the like extra security.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's like okay. Which we know exist in the MCU because the face of one of them's on the side of the frickin' Grandmaster's skyscraper.
I'm going to come back to Tom Monty's email because it's not really related to Infinity War and he hasn't seen it, so we'll do a non-spoilers email after we finish the Infinity War emails.
Okay. Tom Monty, you're probably listening right now. Good, you saw Infinity War. You'll get to hear your email in a bit.
Yay! I'll make a note of that. Jacob! Hello, big damn cockers.
Jacob!
Before I get started, this email will contain spoilers for the masterpiece that was Infinity War. Late! I have seen it twice now. What an amazing movie. It's by far the best experience I've ever had at a movie theatre, apart from maybe the Doctor Who 50th anniversary special. I genuinely don't have words to describe how much I enjoyed it. I was surprised it lived up to what I wanted it to be. It was more than I wanted it to be. The music was amazing. It was a really good score, actually. Music doesn't usually stick out to me, but Alan Silvestri's music was fantastic. That's the thing that's been missing from a lot of the Marvel movies, but I think Silvestri's score for this was spot on. The acting from everyone was spot on, especially Tom Holland, Zoe Saldana, Josh Brolin, and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Bonk Cumbersbond.
And it's Benedict Cumberbatch and Benedict Wong. Can we just put that out there? There's two Benedicts and their mates. Also, Benedict Wong, Salford lad. Yay!
Yeah. Do you think one goes by Ben and the other goes by Addict? Saves time on set, though, doesn't it?
Ben and Benny.
Ben and Benny. Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry's star. Oh, was it?
Oh, Ben and Jerry's ice cream flavour.
Is it Stark Raven Raisin?
Something
and then
like
one
that.
says like Chunka Honka Hulk is our favourite.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
Banner just goes like, "That's a thing."
Also, when you see both of them, yeah, because Banner's been away for like 4 years and doesn't know anything's going on. Also, when you first see like Strange and Wong, they're going out for a sandwich and Wong has no money.
No, he's got 200 rupees,
I love that.
which is like $1.50.
It was like meditation and faith isn't going to get you a ham and rye.
Yeah.
Like, no,
And he wants a tuna melt. That's
Oh, okay.
He wants a tuna melt.
Um,
That's what he settles on.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just, you just get that little moment of levity to establish the characters and their relationship, and then boom, you're into the action. It's really, really smart stuff. Thanos is definitely the best Marvel villain. I like how they downplayed Loki's death. They really didn't make a big deal about it. I don't know, they kind of made a big deal about it, like...
Oh yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like a big moment of self-sacrifice
yeah, no,
to save
like,
the day. It was a last resort to hopefully save his life in that moment kind of deal. Yeah.
This movie was full of surprises, like the Red Skull showing up. That was unexpected, yep. Gamora's death, flipping hell. I loved how Gamora didn't even know Thanos loved her. I liked the correlation between characters having to kill the characters they love, like Star-Lord and Gamora, Thanos and Gamora, Vision and Scarlet Witch, and...
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes. And Loki and Thor, in a way.
Yeah.
I love Peter's reaction to finding out Gamora's dead. Genuinely gut-wrenching scene. Now to address the massive hole in my heart.
Oh?
Needs surgery. Spider-Man's death. Fuck me, I'm not ashamed to say I did cry. Tom Holland is such an amazing actor. The emotion he can portray with his face is amazing. Peter looks terrified, which obviously should be, but still, that whole scene is amazing. How he stumbles into Tony's arms and hugs him, and Tony hugs him back, which is beautiful because of what happened in Homecoming with hugs. If you can't tell, I loved this movie. I really don't want to. I don't want to wait an entire year for the resolution. I don't know how there can be a resolution. There is no hope. But obviously, there has to be lots of love. Lots of big damn love, Jacob. P.S. You should get Mr. Guy Lambert back on the podcast. And a little P.S. because he forgot. I forgot something. This movie was indeed an excellent addition to the Marvel Cinematic Unitard.
Hey! Not
Yes.
that word in a while.
Yes. Yeah. What more can we say?
That's nicely surmised, Jacob. I mean, that is the thing, isn't it? It's the balls on him for doing it in a way, because again, this is probably the riskiest move they have taken.
It's ballsy
in years.
But they can afford to be that ballsy because they've got you by the balls. You're 19 films in at this point. What are you gonna do? Not watch the next one?
True.
Like.
True.
They know people are going to come back for it because they keep crafting stories that people want to see. So they can afford to take a risk like that. So it's not really a risk in that sense.
And here's the thing with all this: people say it's a new kind of entertainment, and it's like I don't think it is. I think it's a repurposed kind of entertainment.
Yeah,
because this has been going on in the pages for decades.
Yeah,
like the same kind of storytelling technique. The idea of we follow individual tales, and stuff happening in one subtly affects or might be subtly referenced. In the other,
in a way,
and every now and again they all cross paths in some way, and you can tell a story like that, and then you can move back onto your individual stuff.
In a way, I think this was a smarter way of doing it as well, because they cut a lot of the shit out.
Yeah, well, that was the thing as well. They made the wise choice once again of not directly adapting a story.
Yeah, don't directly adapt Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh no,
it's not very good.
It's not very good. But they use elements from it and from the character's history. So like when it came to Thanos, they were like, right, let's take this from Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Let's take this from like interactions with the Guardians. Let's take a bit of this from like Silver Surfer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a big visual chunk of inspiration from Infinity, and it used characters from that to expand his world. And it was just like, okay, like this is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. But it's just, I mean, the balls on them for trying it. The nutsack of a chin on them for doing it.
Yeah.
Grimace.
Balls on you, motherfuckers. Yeah, I was impressed with it.
Some direct visual calls as well, like when he used the Reality Stone briefly to sort of knock Drax and Mantis out of commission for a second.
Drax and Ribbons Mantis, which he does to Eros and Nebula in
Infinity Gauntlet, yeah.
Yeah,
So just like
neat.
little things like that where it's like, oh, that's like in the book, but also no, they're okay.
That's like a thing that happened.
I haven't asked you yet, and it might be a bit too soon. Too soon! But like, favourite scene, or scenes? Because the one that comes to my mind, two actually, comes to my mind immediately, are just two character beats in the midst of everything. One is Peter and Tony's interaction before they save Strange.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, Tony, and the frickin' cloak interaction before they save Strange. Because you get that wonderful thing of Tony being... he's panicking quietly in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, at this point he seems to be a lot more level-headed than he used to be, and he's getting there at being an all-round, more considerate, mature individual.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the child that is under his protection is suddenly on the spaceship hurtling towards the unknown.
Yeah.
And he's shitting himself. Because he's like, no, like, you could get hurt. Why are you here? What the hell did you... Why? I'm
going to blow my chance with your unreasonably hot aunt.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because Pepper doesn't want children. Also, I love them having, him and Pepper having the conversation about children because, like, yeah, there's no way Gwyneth Paltrow can carry a child to term at this point. Like, she's in her late 40s. Come on. It's risky at best. At best.
Nanobots.
Shush.
Also, the
scene,
kid's called Morgan. Isn't that a reference to something? Isn't Morgan Stark in the book?
His uncle?
No.
I think at one point.
I have to think about that. Yeah, so there's that, but that moment was that, especially when Peter says, like the suit is surprisingly intuitive, so it's kind of like your fault I'm here, and you just, the look on his face of like,
No, not my fault.
And he goes, what did you say? And Peter goes, yeah, no, that was wrong, I take that back. But it's like in that one moment,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? It's just like, no, don't you add another freaking name to my guilt list. Don't you dare do that. So that little beat with them was really nice, and you see the only reason Tony sort of goes like, fine, is because Peter's argument's brilliant, where he says, like, how can I be friendly neighbourhood if there isn't a neighbourhood?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God damn it, you got a point, kid.
Do you think the next Spider-Man movie is going to be called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
I hope so. That'd be great.
That'd be so good.
Because that also means it would have been foreshadowed in the dialogue. Can I
Yeah.
just stay being your friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man for a bit longer? It's like,
Yeah.
But my other favourite bit was, again, just a quiet conversation, was just before they arrive at Nidavellir, Rocket talking to Thor to console
That's
him.
a great scene, yeah.
It's really good. Because, again, suddenly Thor slows down, and you realise, oh, funny Thor is hurting a lot right now.
Yeah.
This is
It's
painful.
almost a defence at that point.
Yeah.
Because so much has happened that he just can't process it.
Yeah.
Because if he does, he will
break
fall apart.
And like he says, like, he's been around, and we get confirmation he's been around for 1,500 years, and he's toppled at least twice that many foes in his time.
Yeah.
And Thanos will just be the first in the next long line of failed enemies. And he says, he says something like, I won't be defeated because I haven't up till now, and fate is clearly keeping me alive for something.
Yeah.
And Rocket says, like, but what if you die? Like, what if it doesn't this time? And he sort of has that moment, he says, well, I don't have that much more to lose at this point.
Mm.
And you're suddenly like, he's sort of fine with dying, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's not suicidal, but he's like, if I lose, then that is also a victory in some way, because, like, what else has he got to lose now?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh god, that's heartbreaking, especially because we've just watched him be really cool and chipper and adventurous for a movie. And now he's feeling that defeated. It's
Sweet
horrible.
rabbit.
I think,
Sweet rabbit.
God, the rabbit and tree, his friends Rabbit and Tree. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. Fuck those little moments.
Yeah,
those little
it does
stolen
the best scene, like
moments.
Thor arriving at the battle in Wakanda and just wrecking shit.
I know Alan Silvestri was working his socks off, but it wouldn't have hurt to just have a bit of the Immigrant Song in that moment.
Oh man. It was just like, Thor is here and he's gonna wreck all your shit.
I mean, Thor turned out to be the most powerful on display in terms of
absolutely.
the good guy team.
He's the All-Father now.
He quote unquote killed Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, he nearly defeats him at the end by freaking impaling him on Stormbreaker.
He should have aimed for his head.
Oh god! Oh, the hand. Cut his arm
Cut his arm off. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Can't use the gauntlet if he doesn't have a hand to bloody put inside it.
Last Infinity War.
What's he going to do? Break all of his fingers and make them bend backwards and use it in his right hand? He's got to make a fist. I like how they gave logic to how the gauntlet works.
Yeah.
In as much as they could. It was like every power was colour coded.
Yep.
So you could clearly pick out, like, oh right, that did that. You could do that because of that. And he got more abilities as the movie went on. But then they gave that nice logic spike of it only works when he closes his fist. Yeah. That's like the trigger. Which makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a weapon.
Logic, yeah.
It's a weapon, and weapons have holsters and freaking triggers. And,
maybe he's only ever thought of them as a weapon and never thought of them as a tool for creating things.
And that's why he's still on that zealot's path. Yeah.
Anyway, last Infinity War email, even though it's only slightly Infinity War related, and then we'll use a couple of non-spoilery questions before we get out of here, because this is an epically long podcast.
As it should be. It's the culmination of 10 years.
This one comes in from James. Dear Chris and Matt, well, nothing of note seems to have happened since last week's edition of the Big Damn Cast. Nothing at all. No, but in all seriousness, what a film Infinity War was. My, as you put it, sinister tickets. What? And I had a marvellous time. I enjoyed it so much I went a second time within 24 hours. My favourite bit was when Loki used the Infinity Gauntlet. He had tricked Thanos into giving him to rebuild Asgard, and then Thor let him be king. Wow, what a ride! Because I enjoyed Infinity War so much, I thought, why not talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp? Ooh-wee, what a trailer that was! I do not know the position of Ant-Man and the Wasp is in the timeline, but if I were in charge and made the decisions to tie Ant-Man and the Wasp into Infinity War, I would, at the very end of the film, possibly in an end credit scene, have Scott with his daughter and possibly Hope with both of her parents, if not both, just Hank. And I would, kind of Infinity War spoilers ahead, have Scott's daughter and possibly Hank Pym disintegrate into nothing without warning. If you were in charge of that film down the gritty side alley with fun graffiti known as Ant-Man and the Wasp, how would you tie it into the Infinity War, if at all? Have a fun dabby dozy, I don't know how to spell that, week. James. We had mentioned this earlier, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think it takes place before Infinity War. It definitely takes place after Civil War because Scott Lang's under house arrest.
Yeah,
Scott, which they mention
and Clint took a deal.
Mention in Infinity War. They took a deal so they could be with the families and they're under house arrest. And then he obviously goes on the run with Hope and Hank, and some other stuff goes down. I would imagine that the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp will probably tie it into Infinity War. Yeah, with the disappearance of whichever characters.
I think at this stage, just because the post-credit scene of Infinity War being a bit, like the payoff of it at the end being a bit vague for people who don't know the books.
Yeah.
What might be a good call is for the mid-credits of Ant-Man to be it tying into Infinity War, so we see the fallout of the disappearance amongst the characters of Ant-Man and the Wasp, like you said, and that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Scott's daughter, was it Cassie? Like, her disappearing would be a big fucking motivator for him,
there's rumours
and
that
Hank disappearing would be a massive motivator for Hope.
There's rumours that an older
And especially
version
Janet.
of Cassie has been cast for Infinity War Part 2, because in the comics, Cassie Lang, as a teenager, becomes Stature of the Young Avengers, and is a size-changing hero herself.
Okay. Well, maybe not Cassie's disappearance there. Well, but then again, though, you could skip time a little bit, because Ant-Man and the Wasp could theoretically take place in 2016.
Yeah.
And Infinity War takes place at, like, the back end of 2017, start of 2018. Oh, actually, I think Infinity War's 2017, because Black Panther is also set in 2016. Because that's set immediately after Civil War.
Yeah, I guess.
But in fact, it's set a couple days after the end of Civil War.
Infinity War might
because the embassy was blown up a week prior to the events of the movie.
Infinity War might be a bit later then, because Tony mentions it's been 6 years since the attack.
Oh, so 2018. Infinity War set in 2018,
which also fixes the Homecoming time snapping by just ignoring it.
Yeah.
By going, actually, no.
Doing our marathon, I finally cracked open the film on the Blu-ray, and it still says 8 years, and I'm like, why? Like, this is where you could have changed it.
Even in interviews, Kevin Feige's been like, yeah, we thought that up. Just ignore it. Is it messed up? We ignored it.
Is it
we ignore it? We messed it up.
Is it we or is it them?
We messed it up. Ignore it.
So and then what you do is, to keep things positive at the end of the film, you do a phase 1, phase 2 thing again. Your post-credit scene is a straight-up tease for Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Like her receiving the message.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, that'd be perfect.
That would be amazing.
That would be perfect.
Because we know that Captain Marvel is set in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, Captain Marvel is presumably going to end with her being somewhere or somewhen.
Mm.
And then, like, it's going to be like the first Avenger was. It's going to be, like, her origin story and becoming a hero and then being separated from the rest of this universe somehow. And then the call coming from Nick Fury at the end of Infinity War and her coming to sort all this shit out. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be.
I did rock fingers for those then who couldn't read the silence.
Okay, we'll do Tom Monty's non-Infinity War email. So you might want to put a time code in for this, so Tom can just skip to his email. And then we'll do our Twitter question, and then we'll call it a day. And we'll hit 2 hours.
Don't call me a day.
Okay, then you're a week.
Okay.
You're a week. White
Garfield?
guilt.
Oh, do you know what really depressed me?
Piece of shit.
All the Kanye West shit, well, that all depressed me, but all the Kanye West shit started with him retweeting videos by Scott Adams ranting on about stuff. Turns out the guy who writes one of my favourite comic strips ever and my favourite, like, book about business ever, is a, like, really hard-leaning right Republican who is, like, bordering on the ranty kind of InfoWars style.
Awesome.
Guy who created Dilbert is a massive twat.
Awesome.
I'm not saying he's a twat because of his politics, I'm saying he's a twat because of his attitude and his aggressiveness in his politics. It's just like, why, man? And then Kanye starts spreading. That's why Dilbert was trending a week ago.
People
randomly.
be dickbutts.
Big old dickbutts. Dilbert's great, though.
Tom Monty.
Not Tomathan Montias.
Dear the both of you. I hope you both enjoyed.
What was that?
I hope you both enjoyed the Infinity War. I'm interested in this one, but the last Marvel movie I watched was Civil War. Should I watch the ones in between that and Infinity War before I watch Infinity War? I can enjoy it just the same without them. So many wars. Does anything of crucial relevance happen in between Civil War and Infinity? Yes, definitely watch Guardians Volume 2 and Thor Ragnarok, as we said earlier, just to bring you up to speed on where those characters are. Everyone else is where they were at the end of Civil War.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is a bonus.
Watch Black Panther because it's fucking great.
Yeah. Do you know what, Tom? Just give yourself a marathon. I think, Tom, if you went into Infinity War having only seen Civil War in terms of the recent movies, you'd still get it, but you reward yourself more if you watch Strange, Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther.
Yeah.
And Spidey if you just fancy getting a bit more of that character. Just marathon it, Tom.
All caps, bolded. Reluctance.
Oh?
Do you think the Weeping Angels will ever return? If so, how would you like to see them come back? You never see them, they creep up on you.
I'm sorry.
They can't return.
I'm sorry. Is this a all caps?
All caps.
Bold. Matt and Chris, two lifelong Doctor Who fans, reluctantly answer a Doctor Who question.
Yeah. Several Doctor Who questions.
Oh, brilliant.
No,
Bring them on.
Three Doctor Who questions.
I don't want them to ever come back.
No. Let him go. Let him go! Let him go!
Just like that fucking song.
Which villain / monster from New Who that's only appeared once would you most want to return, and how would you like to see them return? I'd be very happy to see the piranhas in the air come back. Vashtanarada. Nothing Moffat did.
I mean, I think the Vashtanarada could work as part of a story, but not as the be-all, end-all. Because their ultimate setting was kind of like finally, pretty much given in that story, which was they're essentially a piranhas of the air. They're creatures that live in shadow and are carnivores, and they live mostly in trees. And the reason why that library's full of them is because that library's full of books that were freaking made from the trees that they were born into.
Yeah.
Plus, it's like you've kind of given them their ultimate setting. If they're part of a story, someone else's story, then you kind of make it work, but it's not the same.
Somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, you could do one in the forest, I guess. But
the Dream Lord.
The
Dream Lord. Because we never explored what any of that meant from Amy's choice. By the end of it, we got that it was the Doctor's self. We knew it was like this psychic spore or whatever.
Yeah.
That got into the TARDIS and made them hallucinate and whatnot, but it obviously latched onto him as the most potent thing, and it built on his apparent self-hatred.
Yeah.
So there is something in him, there is a dark incarnation in him that's nowhere near the surface, but that story allowed it out in some way. So whether the character, I think to make it work thematically, I think you'd have to cast Toby Jones again in the role.
Yeah, I was going to ask Toby Jones or Noby Jones.
Or Noby Jones, well, definitely Toby Jones then, in that case. But you don't. Yeah, you can make it more of a case of something else reawakens that thing, and we can learn a bit more about what. Obviously, like with the upcoming series, like we can learn a bit more about what it is she loathes about herself. Like, why does she feel that way about herself? As she moves past it, and whatever this thing is clawing its last chance to try and kind of work out. Because ultimately, what was the Dream Lord's goal in Amy's choice? It was to kill them all. It wanted the Doctor to kill himself and his friends as well, and then it would die too. But that's all it wanted. So the Doctor's like got something in him that's full of self-hatred that he's like, maybe me and my friends would be better off if we were dead.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? Let's explore that. Not for a whole arc, not for a whole season, just one story.
No, for a whole season, Christopher. Whole season or no season at all. Big bad of the next season.
Aside from that,
I don't really want any. Like, I can't think of any monsters or baddies that have turned up for one episode, with the possible exception of the Dream Lord, that wouldn't be diminished by them returning. In terms of like things that stick in my mind from New Who, like the Midnight Creature. But then you can't bring that back because you would have to ruin the mystique of what made it so interesting in the first place.
Oh, it was fascinating the way it was more fascinating because we didn't know anything about it.
Like the creatures,
to expand on that would kind of ruin it.
The creatures or lack of creatures from Listen.
Yeah.
A really interesting concept that was completely fumbled by the episode.
Yeah, oh gosh.
And absolutely failed to make any sense, particularly with the arc that they took Danny Pink on.
Yeah.
So how did Danny Pink get to Orson Pink, and what's the relation? Or
and
is there
we
no
know
relation?
that there isn't actually anything outside the door, so why could he hear it too? And just like, what?
Weird. So yeah, I don't want any of them to come back.
Although, now that I've said it, I sort of don't want them, but I kind of do. Whatever the frick the bad guys were in Husbands of River Song and Return of Dr. Mysterio, Because Return of Doctor Mysterio, those two episodes are direct.
They never picked up on that, did they?
Those two episodes are direct sequels to it. Like, Return of Doctor Mysterio is a direct sequel to Husband's River Song in terms of like it's the same villains and it's something advancing their plot, even though the timeline is completely different, wibbly wobbly or whatever. But Return of Doctor Mysterio ends with like "Oh, don't you worry, we'll get round to this."
Wait.
And then, of course, they never do, in classic Moffat fashion.
I was going to say, did Stephen Moffat set something up and then not pay it off?
Yep.
Because he doesn't know how things work.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how setup and payoff works.
I just realised something, actually.
He does, though. He does know how setup and payoff works. He just doesn't do it.
I've just realised something. Does the Season 10 box set contain Husbands of River Song and The Return of Dr. Mysterio?
Because if it doesn't, do I not know, I don't care.
Well, I'm a completionist. I ended up getting Season 9 because a friend was lovely enough to give me a DVD promo copy that had been left at an event. And so, and it was, and apparently it wasn't the only one. They said, "Would you like?
Wow.
Have you got Series 9?" I went, "No." They went, "I've got like 5 of them there."
Wow.
I was like, "Fair enough." So I've got Series 9 on DVD. I've still not cracked the fucker open to watch it.
Wow.
But eventually, when it is in a low price or in a deal, I'll pick up Series 10 for the sake of completionism.
Yeah.
But whatever I do,
wow.
Series 10 obviously will never contain Twice Upon a Time, because that came out after the Series 10 box set came out. And I would be very surprised if the Series 11 box set contained Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Which means, like Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor, you have to buy it individually. And I'm just wondering if I have to buy... I just want to know if I've got to have to look at my shelf and look at the words "The Return of Dr. Mysterio" on their own on my shelf.
Probably.
Depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Depressing.
Very depressing.
I got around the Time of the Doctor and the Day of the Doctor thing a bit by getting the 50th anniversary box set, which has got a bunch of special features, a Blu-ray version of An Adventure in Space and Time, Night of the Doctor, the Five-ish Doctors, a bunch of commentaries, proms, things like that. And it also has the 50th anniversary and Time of the Doctor in it. Oh. So at least they're on my shelf. Look out, it's all right. Series 6, Series 7, the 50th anniversary box set, Series 8, Series 9. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, that's neat.
Kind of works.
That's kind of neat. But then it looks like I'm going to have to put 2 random Christmas specials at a Series 10 box set and then another random Christmas special.
Don't do it to yourself, Chris.
Mental, innit?
Don't do it to yourself.
Mental.
Have either of you been listening to the newly released Doctor Who Series 9 soundtrack? I've been listening to The Shepherd's Boy, Breaking the Wall, for the majority of this week, and I have now come to the conclusion that one song is my favourite thing to come out of the entirety of the Capaldi era. What's your one favourite thing, if anything, to come out of the entirety of the Capaldi era?
I've not pursued the Series 9 soundtrack.
I'm really bored of Murray Gold's music now.
I did used to buy the soundtracks. I think the last one I bought was Series... I think I've got Series 7. Do you know what? Hang on. I'm going to peek at it right now, live! The most exciting thing to hear in audio. A man reads some CD spines.
I feel like they've been pushing Murray Gold too hard, with too little.
Yeah, okay, so here's how confusing it got. Series 5 is a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Followed by A Christmas Carol as a separate soundtrack.
Oh, Jesus.
Because there was enough music for like a 17-disc thing, including, of course, the song
A 17-disc thing?
No, a 17-track thing, including the song Silence, whatever it's called, the song that Catherine Jenkins sings in the episode.
What's her name?
Which is, as a track on its own, it's freaking gorgeous.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't get Catherine Jenkins to sing for your episode and then not release it, do you?
That's very true. Then after that is Series 6, sorry. Then they did a double soundtrack, because it was in that weird year with the gap, where we got the Snowmen and the Doctor... hang on. What is that? Yeah, the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe.
Oh,
and the Snowmen as a dual release. Because again, he wrote as much music for the Snowmen that they were like, right, we'll go back and we'll put last year's Christmas special in and we'll do it as a double album with the 2 Christmas special scores. Then, Series 7, then The Day of the Doctor / The Time of the Doctor as an album.
God.
And at that point I was like, I am not going to actively pursue these anymore. And that's fine, because that was at the same time that BBC Music closed down in certain ways, and they finally released Series 8, I think it was last year. And then Series 9 came out, like, last week. Series 9, first BBC product to come out now properly in terms of the past stuff with the new logo on it. It looks really weird.
Oh God! It's brand consistency, motherfuckers.
Well, no, that's the thing now. That's the thing. What Doctor Who's done for years is it's used the current show's logo on anything attached to the current show.
Yeah.
And everything else has had the Pertwee/96 movie logo.
Yeah.
That logo is not going to be used anymore. It's just going to be one logo across everything, which is fine in some respects. Like if you're going to do, say, like a new series of books of various Doctors, various timelines, then that's cool because it's like, oh look, this new wave of books all has the same logo, and it's like a new thing. But it also means that your soundtrack albums, your dramatizations, your full soundtrack recreations that are released through the BBC, your audiobooks, Big Finish as well now, all have to use that logo. So Big Finish's sidebar has gone now. Like the format it's used for like the last 15 years of a sidebar with the Doctor's face and the cast in it, that's gone.
Because you can't fit that logo on.
Yeah, it's just a full cover with that logo in the top and a cast list at the bottom.
I've got to admit, things on the list of things I care about,
that is not at the top of it.
Doctor Who television soundtracks is right near the fucking bottom. So no, I haven't been listening to it. And what's my one favourite thing to come out of the entirety of the Capaldi era? I'm glad that Peter Capaldi came out of it. Peter Capaldi is the best thing to come out of the Capaldi era.
He pulled out, didn't he?
Yeah. I know. I wanted to like.
For those not noticing the subtlety of Matt's answer, he's not referring to Peter Capaldi's involvement in Doctor Who. He's referring to Peter Capaldi getting the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a shame, really, isn't it? 'Cause it's like his dream job, and you get the sense with his sort of quietness since it ended that perhaps it
didn't go the way he wanted it to go.
Yeah. Although he has been in Australia, I think this week there's a big comic convention, and photos have appeared of someone who's driving to the convention, like one of the people who do the vehicles and costume things. Dressed as the Third Doctor driving Bessie to the convention, and there are photos of Pearl Mackie and Peter Capaldi sat in the back of Bessie, looking like they're having a whale of a time. But it's like, okay, he's obviously at a point now where he's like, right, let's talk about Doctor Who. But if Doctor Who magazine, when he left, he didn't do an exit interview like most of the Doctors do. He's not really he didn't really appear in press for Paddington 2 and things like that. He just sort of stayed to himself. Around Christmas, he didn't do any extra material for the final episode.
No.
You just got the sense of he's glad to be fucking out of there and he doesn't want to talk about it right now.
I imagine that's a pretty sore one.
Yeah. My favourite thing is, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You don't have to have one, Chris. It's okay to not have one.
That's true. That's very true. The first 40 minutes of Heaven Sent.
Okay.
As just a performance from an actor in the role.
Everything up until he emerges on Gallifrey,
and ruins the past 40 minutes by being like, all right, here's my secret. It's like, hang on, didn't you just spend billions of years defending from having to say what it is? And now you're just like cockily saying, why don't you just say it then in the first place? And then it turns out to be wrong. The hybrid, it's me. And then the next episode, it's like, you don't know what it is, do you? And he's like, no, I've got no idea. And then at the end, oh, it is you, kind of. It's you and your mate, and it's not a creature. It's just you two fuck stuff up. So you should probably split up, stop being friends. Hey, you ran from your planet because of this, apparently. Even Davros was frightened of the idea. This writing's wank, innit?
Which brings us to the final question for Tom. If you were given the chance to ask Stephen Moffat one question about his work on Doctor Who, what would it be? Have a blimmin' week, Tom Monty. I would ask him, after much consideration...
Did they force you?
I would ask him, why, in the name of all that is sacred, good, and right in this crazy infinite universe... do you keep setting shit up and failing spectacularly, or just downright refusing to pay that shit off. You know how stories work. You know how to set up and pay off things because you have proven this in other work. But in terms of season arcs and even the arc of your entire run on Doctor Who, you consistently failed or refused to do it. So why? Why?
What was craft services like? I mean, I'm assuming it was good for you to stick around that long. You know what I mean? I had dinner at the Royal Flock canteen once. That were all right. But I mean, like when you're on location, Stephen, is it nice? Did you get some sarnies? Is it sarnie? I bet it's sarnies, wasn't it? Soup and sarnies.
So,
hey.
Finally, to bring us out of this week's episode, to finish our epic Infinity War discussion, we're going to talk about something completely unrelated. And you may or may not know, I'm talking to the listeners, not Chris. Chris knows. I know Chris knows. Hasbro just bought Power Rangers.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
And in the light of this... exciting? Is exciting the right word? I don't think exciting is the right word. In the light of this news, let's just call it news. I don't think it's exciting. It's just news.
It's news.
A friend of the show, Charlie, tweeted us, well, DM'd us and said...
He slipped into our DMs.
Slide into DMs.
And mine sounded gross. He slipped into our DMs.
It was very, very sticky. And said... Power Rangers versus Transformers. Discuss.
I'm looking at it right now. That's exactly what he said. Those words. Not even a, how are you, my lovely boys? Or, here's that $5. He doesn't owe us a $5.
Listen.
He owes us nothing.
If we get a Megazord that is also possibly Optimus Prime, not going to complain. If we get a shared universe of Power Rangers and Transformers that is also part of the shared universe that Transformers already shares with G.I. Joe and Mask and Rom and Micronauts and Gem and the Holograms, I'm also not going to complain. Because I'm just putting this out there. This summer, IDW Comics, the current license holder for all of Hasbro's licenses, who have been doing a shared universe for all the Hasbro stuff, are ending their current Transformers universe with the Unicron event and then making a fresh start. If there should happen to be some Power Rangers involvement in this new Transformers universe, I wouldn't complain. If I were to see Devastator fight, I don't know, the Mighty Morphin Megazord, or the Dragon Zord, I wouldn't complain.
Oh, he's grinning right now.
If I were to see Rita Repulsa make her monster grow and have to be combated by Metroplex or Fortress Maximus or maybe Defensor or Superion, I'd be down with that. I'd be down to Clown. There we go. Consider that shit. Disgust. Ticked off that list. Do I love Power Rangers? No. I do love Transformers. Am I going to complain about Transformers and Power Rangers sharing a universe? Shit, no. That could be rad. Stupid. Yeah. Too right. Especially because it would not surprise me if the new Transformers universe after IDW wrap up this is stupid, because the last one was not stupid. It had silly moments, but it was quite well constructed and stuff.
That's a semi-Transformers pun.
Hey, it was quite well constructed.
It was combining wars.
Nope. Fucked it. I did it right. You fucked it up. Be better at this, Christopher. Jeez, we're nearly 100 episodes in. Be better. Yeah. I'm down with it.
How down to clown are you?
So down to clown.
Would you go down on a clown?
No. No.
Would you clown with a get down?
Maybe.
Would you sit down with a clown to watch the get down with Robert Downey Jr. and a bowl of round trees fruit pastels?
Probably not. There's a lot going on there, so I'm not 100% sure.
You don't want to sit on a couch?
But do you know
with
what?
Robert Downey Jr.
I
and a
do
clown?
want to sit on a couch. The rest of that, not so sure about. You know what I would do?
Yeah.
I would definitely, if I wanted to get in contact with myself, or you,
Uh?
email us at bigdamcontact@gmail.com or tweet us at BigDamCast with more questions on the relative merits of Power Rangers and Transformers. Transformers is the best, and Power Rangers is not, but I'd like to see them fight, but Transformers will win every time, because they are autonomous robots, and Zords are piloted, and therefore inherently inferior.
Yeah, you say that, but if we're talking about the Mighty Morphin era, they are teenagers with attitude.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Transformers are cars and robots with attitude.
Yeah, but these guys work in the community centre teaching self-defence, boy.
Shit. You got me there.
Their bullies are wacky as fuck.
Got me there.
Yeah, they're all clearly in their early 20s, and two of the people they hang out with are apparently bullies.
What if Bulk and Skull become runabout and run-amok's sidekicks / drivers, and they go around putting graffiti on shit, like Bulk and Skull putting graffiti on walls, and like Runabout and Run-amok putting graffiti on Earth monuments like they do in the Marvel Comics series, where they write humans are wimps on the Statue of Liberty, because that's a thing that happened in the Marvel Comics Transformers series that was so bad!
I'm sorry, are you sort of warming up to the idea?
I mean, I was already warm on the idea. I'm practically boiling now, boy!
Right, I'm gonna take Matt off the hob.
You guys off the hob, I'm bubbling over!
You guys will see you next week. Come on, if we just take you off the dirty...
So many possibilities!
Oh, he's steaming!
Go, Former Rangers!